welcome. How's Sweden? AJP. Daniel. So no telecasters for a whole week, really? Another 1 minute before I can start my bucky. Hey Alex, how's it going? You're getting smug, Alexander. It's a Yoshi, but it does look very much like a Cardinal series. It's even got this bit here, which you get on guitars like your Cardinal. Bucky time. I've not had dinner, so I'm going to probably crash out very early tonight. But there we go. And I'm thinking I might redo the volumes on this. I kind of rather just have a volume and two tones rather than two volumes. It's annoying having that as a bridge volume. Oh dear. Hey Kit Kats. Sorry. How's it going? This will perk me up, I'm sure. Was that 14 that killed your dad? Yeah. Kit Kats. Number 14. Now, this is either going to have health-giving and life-giving properties, or it's going to knock me out. I was having a wee dive through the old vids at Ibanez with the drop D switch. The drop D switch, which has been sitting there since I had that. The GACs, they're awful good guitars, those wee GACs things. I had a GACs bass that I shouldn't have sold. I wish I should have geezer butlered it, done it as a Black Sabbath bass, but if you find a GACs bass, they're awesome. So much better than an Epiphone EBO, but kind of similar, but not quite an SG. Hey Ben, how's it going? But yeah, I've just not found a guitar yet for the drop D switch. I suppose technically you could probably use it in this one. This one's like through strung if it maybe came over the top. Ideally it'd just be like a Tune-o-matic bridge though. To run one. It did actually work relatively well. I just never, ever, ever drop D. Hey Andy! Hey Pontiac, yeah, cheers if you can spike the likes, that'd be super awesome. If anyone's getting any adverts, thanks Jez. So this week, sponsored by Jez as well that's actually a very, I don't know if you're seeing the yellow, but that's almost exactly Bucky colour, your super chat there. Hey Scott, how's it going? I feel rough. Oh dear. Whitestick busy. He's probably pissed, I would imagine. Scottish term, not in a bad mood. I don't think Mr. Whitestick would ever get pissed American way, but I'd imagine he's probably on about his 9th beer. And he's sitting there trying to get the computer to turn on. It's not turned on because it's not plugged in or something. Maybe he's stuck to his tarp. He's sitting there lying, just waiting for someone to come home. Lying there stuck to his tarp to the floor, just like, can't get up. Yeah, so those Telecasters are calling to me. It's pure ridiculous. I've been sitting there all week. 3 Japanese Telecasters sitting next to my dirty socks. It's like it's no right. I'll maybe start digging one out later on. But then again, you find guitars like this just lying about, and it's like, I kind of forgot I had it. Didn't forget I had it, obviously, but I get so many guitars that I didn't intend on buying. I didn't intend on buying this. It's like just couldn't say no, really. So if you ever see any Yoshi guitars, which are very difficult to find, because as soon as you type in Yoshi, you get into Google and like you get Mario's wee dinosaur pal. And if you type in Yoshi guitar, you get Mario's wee dinosaur pal playing a guitar. Flooding in New York, I did not know. I've not been watching. Don't watch TV anymore. Oh, I did actually. Me and Scott had a bit of a movie night last night. We watched about half an hour of Not the Good and the Bad, the Ugly. The Fistful of Dollars. The first, I think it was the first one. Watched a bit of that. The Ibanez acoustic bass, full scale, 125 plus you haggle. Haggling depends. Sometimes it's worth haggling. Sometimes haggling's worth it. Sometimes you just can't haggle. I've not haggled for the last few things I've bought. It's like, even though I probably could have, you're like that. Well, if it's worth what it is and you're already getting a bargain, I don't haggle. Big flooding. No, I won't haggle if it's a really good buy. I will if it's on the edge of what it's worth, sort of thing. If there's something wrong with it, I will haggle. If I go and look at a guitar, really no matter what price it is, and they don't mention the fact it's only got 5 tuners and you can't see that in the photo, getting haggled. But if a few of the guitars here, it's like, you just know what I mean. You know, my white Strat there, it's like the guy wanted 70 quid, and it's like, just take it. Same with the black Telecaster. It's like, yeah, there's no point. Got to keep the karma going. Got your first telly, a Vintera 2 60s. A Vintera, is that a Squire Vintera? I don't really know what a Vintera is. I do like a telly though. It's amazing how it's like really the things that make this not a telly are not really. There's not really very much. If this was telly shaped, it would just be a telly. It's just like it's amazing how a telly is different somehow. There's something about it. I mean, this doesn't have the. One of the main things is it's got like it doesn't have the chamfered edge like this. So, but I can't. Tellies are super good. If this was a telly, this would be hundreds and hundreds of pounds more than what I paid for it. Do you have a bit of a big nose? Must be in the blood. Girl from Boston lives with us. My son's girlfriend. Oh, especially your politics right now. Oh, I don't know. I just give up on the politics. It's just so mental. Not so much the American, just even our ones. It's just like just end up getting annoyed about it. We've got a right bunch of bastards running the country just now. I don't know if Americans any worse. I think it's probably just about the same. It'll just be the extended families of the same people, the aristocrats that. Yeah. Oh. So is this just the usual flood defences not been taken up, building on floodplains? That seems to be quite a common thing over here. You just build, floodplains. That's where all the we'll build on that, which means that the flood water doesn't go anywhere. Vinteras are Mexican's Fender line, right? I didn't know that. It's just they were still called a Mexican telly as far as I was aware till recently. But there is something about a telly that you can't. You don't seem to get as many. Well, maybe it's just because you don't get as many tellies. You don't seem to get as very many tellies that don't work. Too much rain in 24 hours. I'll look it up and see what's going on. I mean, not that really what I do. It was a massive flood. I was going to say down there, but down there, I thought maybe about 20 years ago. I remember Kirky all flooded, and at the time, I had my boat running, and if I'd got up, I didn't get up during the day. If it was dark by the time I got up, I could have taken my boat down and actually just like water skied up and down the streets, which would have been fun. Or I could have helped people save, valuable record collections and guitars by just pottering about. fair enough. I'd probably rather have a wee rubber boat with a tiny engine on it rather than a speedboat, but I had one, but I didn't do it. Yeah, it's actually really warm just now. I don't know what's happening. It's like we're kind of, we seem to be getting real extremes of temperature one day to the next. It's like cold and then it's hot. But it's not really middle. It's like it's either cold or hot. And I'm like, all right. And today, just now, it's hot. What's going on? So I'm not going to be one of these. Yeah, use £1,500 for a Mexican. I think they have changed a lot. They moved these things. The same with Squire as well. I mean, I'm looking at Squires. I think that one there, the 20th anniversary one, there's so many different Squires that every year they seem to bring out a slightly new one, and then they move the Affinity series from being the cheapest one to being the most expensive one, and then ones appear in the middle and all that. Extreme hot. I suppose you'll be getting the same weather as us pretty much because you're probably not that far away. It's like people in America you're in Sweden, which is like pure off. I bet you're only 300 miles away or something like that from me. Because we're talking about, it's only 50 miles or something to the coast, Edinburgh, and then straight across, I don't know, 100 miles. Yeah, I bet you're only a couple hundred miles away, which is ridiculous. What's happening with the old Scalextrics buying? I've not played. We've not done any Scalextricing for ages. I've still got the massive set up next door. Last weekend, the weekend before, I took the we read some of my other pals' houses and I tried to convert them all. Yeah, no, I need to get a bit more set. I've got parts for Scalextric. I never actually even bothered building it, so I've got my 4-pack of 9 Porsche 911s. I got cogs, so they were all the same, and magnets and stuff. I just haven't bothered myself doing it. Nothing you can hear in the Urals. Rings a bell. What's the nearest city to? It's got to be Stockholm, doesn't it? Because there's a bit of that syndrome going about. I think Scott's going to go on Google Maps and see how far away you are. Yeah, do it. We could talk about guitars. Yes, last week it was filmed, wasn't it, for a while? Yes, it's like so there we go. We get some geography here. How far away Stockholm is from here, and then we can talk to people in China or America who can probably have the same distance and just be in maybe the same state or the next state along, sort of thing. Hey, Scott from Baltimore. Baltimore's in America, probably. Couldn't find it on a map though. I always say this, as people over here kind of. The media laughs at Americans for not knowing where European countries are, but I mean, I don't know if I can American states are. You can find you Florida, and I know Kentucky looks like the outline of it looks like someone with a frying pan. And Texas is on the left, but never finding, maybe getting 10. If you gave me like a map of the USA and then a list of all the states and told me to put them in, I'd maybe get, I don't know, what's there, 50 or something like that. I'd probably get 10 of them right or something like that by a process of elimination. Interesting. Just paying £1,000 for a guitar seems. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's very nice. I didn't pay that. It'd be interesting to put that up against my new one, which I'm not playing just now, the black one, the Japanese one, just to see what the difference is. Because I've been looking up a wee bit of people with that guitar, and it's like the first thing everyone always says is, "Oh my god, it weighs a ton," and mine doesn't. So does that make it better than the actual Fender that it's copying? In one way, yes. I'm not sure where Glasgow is. Middle of Scotland. Scotland's not very big anyway. Basically, you just look. See if you look at this like a sort of. If you look at Scotland, it's kind of like a face with a headband. So the mouth's on the left-hand side. It's kind of at the back where the hair is. That's the Outer Hebrides. The bit with all the islands and shit. Glasgow's kind of there. Everyone in Scotland lives in the middle bit, type of thing. So it's like kind of that's why I consider myself quite lucky being kind of in the middle for picking up cheap guitars, because I can kind of get most of Scotland within 45 minutes sort of thing, like probably more than half the population of Scotland within half an hour. And then there's a wee bit going up the right-hand side. You're kind of going up Dundee and Aberdeen and that side. And then there's a wee bit kind of going down the east coast, down the way where you get the Shire and that. And then there's not really anything else anywhere else. It's just sheep. Glasgow's is it 25 miles to Greenock? Wow. That's one of those ones I've never had to walk it, so it doesn't seem that far. I worked in Greenock. Every time I go to Greenock, I can't help but think of Thin Lizzy Chinatown, because that was my favourite tape for the car when I was working in Greenock. I used to listen to that. Won't take kindly to the killing of the buffalo. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na, killing of the buffalo. That, going over the Erskine Bridge. Yeah. Oh. It's Jack Caster from Halliburton. Hey, Ian, how's it going? I stay on the coast. It's the top middle. No one stays. I think no one stays up the right hand side either. Kit Kats. It's like the west coast. Really, if you look, obviously there are some people. I'm talking about, like, as in population centres. The quote is from Rising Damp. Takes place in Yorkshire. Okay. I do remember sort of. There's another. Have you ever seen The Rise and Fall of Reginald Perrin, which is maybe before it, maybe after it, but it's the same. Leonard Rossiter's the main character in it, and it's really funny. Rising Damp. I don't think they can put that on TV anymore because it's not really racist. There's not a black guy in it who, to be fair, they're really racist to him, but he always wins because he's not stupid like the white people. But in a sort of Blazing Saddlesy type thing. But I don't really remember watching it much. The name Glasgow, I don't know, but I do know that it's more than 3,000 miles. Fuck, there you go. MPG in the Palmer's 92, I reckon, on a run. I don't know if it does that in snow, and obviously it doesn't do that on water. It's not. It's pretty bad fuel efficiency when you're trying to run it in water. I don't know, but it's in the ABBA song. Na 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 na. And I called you last night from Glasgow. Na 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 na. So it's exotic to Swedish people, I suppose. And maybe I suppose if it sounds nice to Swedish language, maybe that's why it's in the ABBA song. Oh. I found a used Yamaha SG 1802 P90 is not cheap, but very impressive. The feel and tone design. I don't know anything about them. I really know the cheap ones. It means Deer Green Place, really. Well, there you go, huh? You just think Scotland runs with Glasgow. It's kind of the middle bit. Kit Kats. It's like kind of. I suppose I'm still in Glasgow, but kind of more in the middle. I mean, Cumbernaulds not far away, and that's kind of in the middle. And then, I mean that green's algae, though. You know, it's not grasses. That's all right. It does get a bit depressing. I mean, it's like, see, during the winter, a couple of winters, especially when I was a student, it was really tough because it doesn't really get light. Mind you, Sweden will be more so, but at least you're in Sweden. In Glasgow, it's like there are, you're getting a train into uni and it's dark, and then you go into the uni building and it's dark, and then at lunchtime you get out and you get daylight for an hour while you're having lunch, and then you go back in, and then when you come back out it's dark, and then you come home in the rain in the dark, and it's like for kind of December's kind of really, really dreary. The world revolves around Glasgow. Yes. Yeah, most certainly. I think it's. I don't know. I did one of these online fucking survey things. So I appeared out how Scottish are you? I think it was 20 questions, and I got 19 of them right, and the one I got wrong was, what's the capital city? And I said Glasgow. Because it wasn't. That's so easy. I'm not thinking about that. It's obviously Glasgow. It's like Edinburgh. There you go. The Scandinavians get tanked up during the winter. It sounds like that. Yeah, it sounds fine. What did it used to be like? I mean, going back probably not even that long ago. You didn't have electricity like 100 years ago. You didn't. Electricity wasn't really a thing. Really, I mean, obviously rich people had it, but I don't think everyone had it. Even just like what I would tonight. Aye, so that kind of thing. So I mean, it really must have literally been wake up when the sun comes up at 10 in the morning, go and stab away at the frozen earth with a spade until 4 o'clock in the afternoon when it gets dark again, and then what'd you do? You didn't get guitars, no TV. Must have been mental. Uh, there's a joke. Black Monday. We got a Black Friday, although I think it's kind of. I think that was a few years ago. Nowadays, it's a bit mental. We never have a break during the summer ones too. Yeah. Oh, it kind of does that a wee bit. Here a wee bit. It never gets. There's like a few weeks where it doesn't get proper dark. The sun does set, but it kind of just goes down behind the hill and then goes along a wee bit and comes back up again. It never actually gets dark. Yeah, I've heard one of my pals went to Sweden during the summer and it was pure they were camping, and they said it was just pure fucked up because it was like it never got sunny at all. It never got it was just sunny all the time. So there would be like just rough camping. So they'd park the car and camp, and then they'd have a night's sleep and wake up and it'd be like, "Be all right, okay." Wake up daylight. And it's like, what time is it? It's 6 o'clock, and it's like that's 6 in the morning or 6 at night, and they're like, don't know. I'd imagine they were probably drinking. I thought Glasgow was gloomy till I started working in Cumbernauld. Yeah, yes, yeah. Cumbernauld, I don't know. Cumbernaulds all right with its fantastic space station of a town centre, which is just nuts. It's the most mental looking place ever. It's basically like a spaceship. Always reminded me of those. It's an old sci-fi show I used to watch called Blake Seven, and there was a bit where they were controlling the population on this planet, so they had them all drugged up, and the security guards were just shooting people just for a laugh, and it was totally. I don't think it wouldn't have been Cumbernauld town centre, but it would just have been some mall somewhere in England, and it was just like that, and it's like that's what thing was like. It's kind of like the inside of a ship or something because there's no outside to this building. You go in, it's got like a sort of strip mall in the middle, and then there's a bit where you kind of go up. You're walking all these mad corridors, and suddenly you're walking out over like a 4-lane road, and then you're back in, and it's like there's all these bits where you're kind of walking. But oh, okay, it's just like a mall, and then you go through a door, and then it's just a big long corridor with nothing in it, and you're like, kind of, is this? Am I meant to be in this bit? Kind of looks like a behind the scene thing. And you go around the corner, and oh, like there's more shops, and there's no actual door to get in. It's like wherever you go in seems to be in a grotty fire escape up a thing. It's a mental place. I quite like it. I can't tell you about gloomy Scottish towns. I'm from Kilmarnock. Yeah. Kelly seems lovely. I will never be there during the day though, when it's nice. I don't go there when it's dark in the winter months. The thing about I don't know. The thing about when you start getting a wee bit far out. See, I'm kind of still in Glasgow, even though I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere, and it feels like ages if I've got to get a bus. But I mean, I think one of the gloomiest places I know. I'm sorry, Alistair, but Greenock. It's the thing. If you live in Greenock, I worked, as I said, I worked in Greenock, and it rained the whole time I was there, and you would always see across the water it was Helensburgh, which always seemed to. I think it's maybe just because it's got some white buildings. It always seemed to be in the sun. So you'd always every time I was in Greenock, you're looking across where the sugar boat sank and all that, and you're looking out, and it's like pure. Helensburgh looks much nicer. It turns out it's not really when you actually go there, but I mean, yeah, Greenock's pretty grey. You're in season 4, all right, when it starts to get interesting. It's like you have to disconnect something. Some of it's so amazing, but then it's so bad in a minute. So have you seen the one? If you're on season 4, the one where they're in Cumbernauld, what looks like Cumbernauld Town Centre is, I think it's the third last one. Warlord is the episode with Zukan in it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My mum was mad into Blake Seven, so I used to watch that when I was a kid all the time. And I'll be honest, I think it might be better than Star Wars. It's better than Star Wars now, but it was maybe better than Star Wars when there were only 3 films, because everyone in it's a bastard, and it's like totally everybody, even the goodies, they're all bastards. Brilliant. But we're ripping on the Scottish folk fife. I think I just get dial up into it. That was a thing. They said it was not Frankie Howard, Frankie Boyle. Was that? But yeah, I was in a time machine and got the train to Aberdeen. It was like I came off the train. It was 1978. Yeah. Well, you're talking about Kelly pies. I went through a Kelly pie phase. When I used to be able to get to Aldi, because Aldi sell Kelly pies and they are fantastic pies. They're the best pie you can get in like a Scotch pie thing is the Kelly pie by far, no doubt. I think that was. I think they were famous more from the football because obviously all the other teams like your Rangers and stuff like that, and it would be like, "Is yeah, you're going to the game at the weekend? Is that where is it? Is that against Kelly? Oh, get a pie at lunchtime. Yeah, we'll go to that." So I think it actually genuinely helped the football team by people would be more likely to go because you could get a Kelly pie at halftime. Genuinely a thing. St Helens. I don't know where I'm talking about. Helensburgh. I don't know where St Helens is. Big Marvin. CSI Cumbernauld, because you'd never be able to find your way about. I used to deliver. Used to work as a courier in Cumbernauld, and it was really annoying because there's so many streets that have got like houses 1 to 20, and it's like, but I'm looking for number 22, and it's like you can walk to it. It's just across there and over that field over there, sort of thing, with a footpath. But to get there in a car, you have to go way back out, round fucking like that to get to the other half of the same street, which is really annoying. It's kind of it's one of those because it's a new town. It's one of those ones. That's Gregory's girl. Yeah. Because everyone is so manky that crime scenes are contaminated beyond the yeah. Well, there you go. Because it's all a crime scheme. Yeah. Greenock means sunny bay. Really? How things have changed. Hey Kenneth, how's it going? Everyone has the same DNA and no one has teeth. It's like you've got to not. It's like slagging off your own town's different than slagging off somebody else's. I'm slightly uncomfortable slagging off people from Fife and thing. They'd laugh at them for saying A and Ken at the end of things, but you know, if you're going to slag somebody off, only slag off your own town. That's fine. St Helens, Merseyside, is it? I don't know. Hey, Mr. Weisney, we were wondering where you'd gone. I thought you were maybe stuck in below your tarp in the back room, waiting for someone to come home and scrape you off. St Helens, Fastlane. No, all right, Fastlane. That is Helensburgh. Then I don't know where the St came from. I think it's a royal borough of Helensburgh, whatever that means. But it's like quaint fishing village in the Clyde. Yeah, I don't think there's any fishing villages left. It's more industrial. Brighton in Englishire is the worst place I've ever been. I've been to the worst place I think I've ever been to in Britain is where was it? Was it Preston? Preston was pretty rough, pretty grim. As in, I don't know how long, maybe 5 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, down there just moving someone's house, and there were still bits where they hadn't fixed shit after it was bombed during the war, sort of thing. Huge areas where you got like sort of houses, and then it was just an area the size of 3 football pitches of just flattened rubble, where it obviously used to be industry and isn't anymore. Kind of mental. Kelly pie, Mr. Kelly pie is the stuff of dreams. Is really the best thing. Yeah, they're amazing. You're from Pollock. Where do I start? Yeah, you can start by. I can't see Pollock or Pollokshaws without seeing Bollock and Bollockshaw's. It would be the beef. Englandshire, yeah. I mean, coming 2 streets back in Blackpool. Okay, it's that 2 streets back thing. You get that? There's the village I'm in, Milton Campsie, is actually pretty nice. It's lovely. You go to a place called Lennoxtown, which is only, I'm going to say 2 minutes, but maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 miles. It's only 2 minutes in the car. And I was like, I used to drive through it when I was working with my dad. We're working in Balfron. It's lovely and all that. And then it was like, my pal G was a taxi driver for a Kirky taxi company. He's like, oh, Lennoxtown. Oh, it's really nice. You know, you're sitting in, you can see it's got the hills, you know, that bit, the hills that I always say looks like the wall from Game of Thrones. It's just lovely. And then one time I was delivering out there and I was like, you know, Lennoxtown, oh, good. I just love that place. And as you say, you go 2 streets back and suddenly it's like pure whoa. You know, where folk just don't bother using bins. They just throw their rubbish out the window. So the gardens are just full of cities and just shite everywhere. And it's like there's folk pure growling. And you're like, but it's immediately like literally 10 yards away. It's the fields start and then it's the the Highlands and stuff. It's lovely, but they're still really angry. So Lennoxtown is a bit rough. But my pal, who's a taxi driver from Kirky, they didn't do anything going to there at certain times because there's a pub called the Druitt Dug on the main street, and you would have like Generation fucking ads inserted. What the hell? Have you all disappeared? Like, you're getting turned off. I'm getting fucking demonetized anyway. Is anyone still here? I don't know how to change it. I saw there was something different when I set it up. I'm telling all the people that aren't on just now. We're here, cool. I know. I just got a thing flashing up saying ads inserted. So I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna turn off the thing. I'm getting demonetized anyway. Scott Top Trump me. Yeah. See, I don't really have that. I fucking came from Lindsay. It's like up here. Like not the poshest bit of Glasgow, but one of them. You just got an ad. Don't worry, there'll be no more ads next week. No, it's not worth it. Jez is already paid for this week anyway. So everyone buy Jez a drink. I think there's probably bits of Baghdad that are more up market than Govan, I think. And saying that again, I don't really know. These are not places that I ever went to. Or when I did go there, it was picking up a guitar, and that would be sunny day, lunchtime, not at night. Mind you, there's bits of Kirky that aren't that good. I remember my pal used to live in a flat. What was it? It was called Daniel McLaughlin Place, and it seemed lovely. It was quite a modern flat. It was like sort of new builds, and it's like, this is as good as that. It's really quiet, and it's like, no, it's at night. It's mental. It's like, really? And it's like, yeah, you just basically hear fights and folk shouting at each other and screaming and running battles going on and stuff like that. Another guy I know is in for a place called View Park, which isn't a lovely place. It seems all right during the day when I'm there. But it's like, it's at night, because at night it's just, I don't think it's literally gangs like it used to be out fighting. I think it's just gangs of drunk people climbing lampposts and fighting each other, sort of thing. Cheers, Andy. I'll buy myself 2 bottles of Bucky next week. No, I won't. Last night I decided not to go to my pal's house and have a drink because I can't do this live stream thing. I'm a wee bit concerned about how pissed I'm going to get. That's why I've got a sandwich kicking about somewhere that I'm going to eat. If it comes down to it. The amount I watch YouTube Premiere is worth it. No ads at all. Yeah, that's very, very good of you, Jez. I get it. I should do that as well. I don't get an ad blocker on, which is ridiculous. It means that I totally understand why. It's just different when you're looking at the phone. It's like the thing that always gets me with the ads is it's not the wee channels like mine who've got like a couple of thousand subs. That doesn't annoy me with people asking for ads. It's when you go to someone who's got like 1 million subs, and it's like immediately it's like pure blah 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 NordVPN for a whole minute, and then it's adverts, and then they're talking about something else, and you're sitting there. It's like they've done a 5-minute video, and like a minute and a half of that was an advert for something else, and they're getting 2 million views, and they're pure hammering the adverts and going for the Patreon and stuff like that. I mean, fair enough. It's like it's one of those things that like when you're buying, if you buy something in the local shop, it actually goes to somebody, whereas if you buy it off Amazon, it just goes to what's his face's pocket, so he can go into space again. You gotta think about it. Went to Crookston Castle School. I was like, that sounds quite posh. Be prepared to be surprised. Yes, I went to Lindsay Academy, which was, I think it was pretty much every year. I remember they would always be very proud of it. It was like kind of, I don't know if it was the best, but it was one of the top 2 or 3 schools in Glasgow, and it's not a private school. It was always like one of the top ones that wasn't a private school. Who is Daniel McLaughlin? I don't know. I don't know. It's probably I don't know, maybe a town chancellor, a town clerk or something like that. My grandpa, I wonder why there's not a Robert Kyle Street, because my grandpa was the town clerk for Kirky for years in the 60s and 70s and 60s. And when Kirky used to be, there's actually a Corrie song called There's No Pubs in Kirkintilloch, because Kirkintilloch was literally a dry zone. You couldn't buy booze. That's why there's a pub called The Stables, which is technically just outside Kirky, and there's one in Auchinloch called The Pheasant. And that's where people used to have to go to the pub. You had to actually leave Kirky because it was a dry zone. But my grandpa was head of that. He drank though. But you hold this service every Sunday for a few dozen for no cash or something like that. Well, yeah, service. It does make it sound quite religious, doesn't it? Praise the Lord. Yeah, I don't know where that came from. As like what religion that is. It sounds like a bit mental. It was like Barlini with desks. Yeah, okay. Hey, Bessock, how's it going? How's it going? Oh. It's the fighting at night. I mean, here it's so quiet. It's ridiculous. I can see people thinking this place is boring. I'm quite happy with it. I've actually stopped noticing it quite as much since I've got a PC that runs all this malarkey. And so there's always a kind of a fan going on up there. You know, just it's always there. See when that's off though, when you open that window, oh my god, it's quiet. You know, you're sitting there and you can hear sheep buying in the middle of the night, stuff like that. I kind of get used to it a little bit because where I stayed before, there was the street I was on was quiet, but it was like over another garden. There was the main road, so there was like buses and stuff on it. So there was always cars on that road. Whereas here, the only road's like 1, 2, 3 streets away from the main road, and even then, I reckon there's probably times at night where a couple of hours go past when no cars go on it at all. You know, like between sort of midnight and 5 in the morning sort of thing. I bet there's a couple of it's very feasible. There's a stints of an hour where there's no cars whatsoever. It's kind of mental. Oh. Yeah, I point out, you said before, and I can't imagine what it's like. Americans having guns and stuff like that. Must be just mental. What's that wonky brown thing behind you? If you're not talking about that Yamaha, which is fucking awesome. It does look a wee bit wonky there. You can see it's just something not right about it. It kind of looks like it's an upside down Strat, and it's not really, because that bit there is just a Strat, and this is just something else, kind of like an Explorer or something. Very nice guitar. Yeah, desks, exactly. Yeah, and pencils as well, I bet you. Hey, Stu, how's it going? Oh. No, I can deal with quiet. I actually find mum and dad had still have a chalet up in Lochfine, and it was honestly takes you half an hour to get accustomed to it, because especially I remember driving up in the Land Rover, because it was loud as fuck, and then you would go off and turn the key off, and then you would get out, and it would just be like the deafening silence, you know, like proper deafening, but it's just like pure. It's like you feel like one of your senses has been taken away because you can't hear anything. It used to happen in Balfron as well. I remember being up there, but one time, especially with my dad, and it was misty, so you couldn't really see that far. You could only see like within a mile of it, just like misty. And it was like kind of in the morning, standing there like that, and it was just, my God, it's so quiet. You know, and I'm whispering. My dad's standing 10 yards away. It's that ridiculous. And then we were standing there, going, like, can you hear anything? And then we heard something, and it was a sneeze. And we heard a sheep sneeze, and honestly, the sheep was a mile away, the closest sheep you could see. I heard a sheep sneeze from a mile away. You're just sitting there, it was that quiet. Ridiculous. It's like Andy away to Spain. I'm not think I'm doing that badly, but there you go. I'm away, folks. Got that giddy feel after receiving a tweaked Fender Player jazz bass today. That's a Fender Player. Are those the Mexican ones? But tweaked sounds interesting. You love that Yamaha, not cheap in the USA. I think it might. I don't know if it would actually come out in the USA. Maybe that's why it's not cheap. Hey Tam, who was it? The copyright to White Cream Pickups? DiMarzio on it. This is before they got it, so these aren't actually DiMarzios. But I think it's Cream Pickups, double cream. I think you can get. I just remember Josie Warman talking about it, because he does zebra ones that have got like a cream coil and a black coil, and he does ice white ones like this. And he does black ones like this, but you're not allowed to make cream ones because DiMarzio, which is. Seems a bit of a waste. Those are actual DiMarzios, and they didn't bother making them cream. But I mean, just basically all the guitars from this era, cream was the thing, because that was the thing, what's his face? Dave Murray and Iron Maiden. If you wanted to upgrade the pickups in your guitar in the sort of 70s and 80s, I think that was kind of your only option. I think this is pre Seymour Duncan, really. So basically, you want new pickups. This new company started making pickups. They're called DiMarzio, and I think that was kind of it. You didn't get the equivalent of your Warmans and Wilkinses. They just didn't exist. So that's when you find a lot of the guitars I've bought, like your things of this ilk, someone's upgraded it with like it's got like a Fender pickup or a Gibson pickup in it, but not like one of the desirable ones, because that was the only option you had to replace a Bolton pickup. You either bought a new DiMarzio or you bought a pickup off somebody who bought a new DiMarzio for their guitar and they had the old pickup left over. So I've got quite a few Japanese guitars that came with like what are now desirable. When my Aria Archon, ended up getting that free because it had a Gibson T-top in it. Didn't sound that great, but the original pickup probably broke. But the owner was like, "You're ready to get another pickup." I'm not buying a DiMarzio because they're, I don't know, the equivalent of 100 quid. So I'll see who's selling an old pickup, and someone was selling one of the Gibson T-tops because they sounded pish, but they'd obviously put DiMarzios in there, and that's kind of how these things work. Kind of mental. Got a new Marshall MG50. Yeah, 50 watts. Fucking yes. Sounds great. I actually have some Irish blood 100 years back. Captain visiting South Sweden, end of year 1800, blonde Swedish girl, and the rest is history. Well, there you go. Yes. Found out Andy Gill, Gang of Four, used a solid state PV combo. Quite a lot of people do. Hey, J-Packs. I've not had any tea today, so I'm a bit drunk already on my thing. I've got some food. We'll survive. I see you managed to work out how to change your name, so you're J-Packs. Marcus Miller pickups, heavy bridging, some extra riding through push pulls, fully fret dress, polished ramps and shim neck. Might be back. It sounds pretty nice. It is a bit disgusting though when you look at a guitar like that, which kind of, what a difference it can make having a good setup. Because of just modern guitars, they don't set them up, because that costs a lot of money. You're talking about somebody who knows what they're doing. Give them an hour and they could probably make most guitars play really well as a setup, but you've got to pay somebody like a skilled person for an hour to do it, and it doesn't compute with a guitar, because that would make the guitar, you've got to do that before you sell the guitar. So you've got a £200 guitar, you've got to pay somebody an hour, and suddenly it's 250 quid, which adds, by the time you've added on all the taxes and all that shit, that's an extra 200-300 quid. It's terrible. Got a Boss pedal board this week. Got to find 6 pedals to go in it. What may I interest you in a digital multi-effects? That'll fit in your Boss pedal board. I need to have another shot of that. I bought it because it was so cheap. I don't like it. But I know the plastic container thing. I still kick myself. I was in the bars and there was a guy selling it was outside, and there was a guy with an Aria Pro 2 pedal board, but basically it was just a box, but it said Aria Pro 2 on it, and I doubt the guy even knew what he wanted, but I couldn't be bothered waiting for him to come out to ask him how much it was. I'm sure it would only be a tenner. I wish I'd bought it. There's a great Washburn one that looks fucking amazing. It only takes Washburn pedals, which are a sort of funny shape, but they look fantastic. What happened to Fun Fuzz first day? I don't think we had Fun Fuzz. I did fucking about 20 of them. I've only got 2 fuzz pedals that I use. I don't have any more. I don't know. I've acquired this one off my pal Ian, which I can't remember. I've seem to remember him saying, "Oh, you can just have that." A Nux Recto. That's that'll be a Mesa Boogie rectifier, not a rectum, I would think. I need to put that in and try and work out what I'm doing. The problem with pedals is all the ones I've got are only worth like, I only paid like 20 quid for them, so I'm only going to get 10 or 15, and it's like, well, I don't really know if I really want to. I might want to use it at some point. There might be an amp that needs that pedal, but I get some really interesting ones. Things like that. That Joyo, that's fucking great. I don't need it though. It's like, I don't use the shit. There's my Boss pedal. You want to buy a Boss pedal? I've only got the one. It's an overdrive and distortion, and it was in a gig bag that I bought. I bought a bass, and the guy was like, "Oh, there's a Boss pedal in the gig bag. It doesn't work, but you can have it anyway." So it was like that, pure plugged it in, didn't work. Scoosh a contact cleaner in and outs, and then it worked. Sometimes it's worth getting contact cleaner. Oh. Do you want to go down the separate pedal route? I think, I mean, money wise, I think the thing about buying like your multi effects units, don't buy a new one because they get cheap. But if you're sitting there and you're like thinking, I want to get, if you're buying like one of your multi effects that's like 10 years old, which could have been, 300 quid 10 years ago, and you can pick them up for 40, 50 quid, or you get them in wee sets. It's kind of good. I kind of like I don't know. I kind of prefer the idea of the individual pedals, but I don't know if it really makes any difference. I can see it a wee bit. I was always have like hi-fi separates because each pedal, each hi-fi separate. I remember my pal telling me that's why separates were better than like a MIDI system was, because each one of them's got their own power supply and they don't share components and stuff like that because it's a separate unit. The CD player is everything you need for a CD player, and the amp's just everything it is. Whereas if you get a MIDI system, they kind of share bits, so they're not as good. There's probably an element of that in a pedal, but I really don't know. That PRS, I gave up on it. I decided I didn't like it. It's still there, but I've gone back to the orange. I prefer the orange. But then again, is that just snobbery from me? Because I looked up how much they cost. They're not actually that expensive. So I did generally think, this is a PRS one. It kind of doesn't really sound that different from the orange. But I mean, I only ever use the clean channel anyway in a rat pedal, so there's less difference anyway. But it's like that pedal, that amp new costs less than what the orange is worth used, or what the orange in an orange cabinet is worth used, because you can't find any black cabinet oranges. So I kind of like that, but I couldn't believe how expensive they were. Another result yesterday, I got a wee 3/4 size bag from a charity shop for the Jim Dandy. Found a capo in the pocket. Smashing. You can't finding shit. Best thing anyone's ever found in a gig bag. There we go. What's that? My best thing I think was it was a hard case and it had a 3-pack of DiMarzio strings in it. Not DiMarzio, D'Addario strings, but they were in, there was like 3 in the box was all fucked. It had been in there for years, but they were all sealed in a plastic bag. So I got 3 sets of DiMarzio D'Addario strings in a case. I think that's probably the best thing I found. Found a couple of tuners. The guy told me about that Boss pedal. He did say there's a pedal in the bag, so I didn't find it. I'm trying to think. I mean, finding shit in gig bags is great fun, especially if you find a Curly Legion one as well. Is that great? Looking for a fuzz, have a used Geezer Butler for exchange. I think you missed out pick there. A pick used by Geezer Butler. Yeah, I've got to blow my nose. Oh. You found hash in it? Wow. Oh. But I've done a multi-effect pad for 20 now, so for over 100. Yeah. No, I mean, my problem with the effects is I don't really like the sound of them. I have been using that reverb pedal a lot. The problem with the reverb pedal is you don't get a cheap reverb pedal. You're looking at like distortions. I've not even looked for a while. They used to be able to, that wee Mosky, the black rat pedal, I got for 12 quid, brand new off eBay. I don't think you really get. Maybe you just got to keep looking. And my wee Donner Fuzz was only £16. It's like sometimes you find these things cheap. I think everyone's gone up a wee bit in the last sort of year or something like that. But it's our old DiMarzio pickups, loud, heavy pickups. All I seem to see is for sale as second-hand distortion, super distortion. No, the same as Seymour Duncan. It's like, I've got Seymour Duncan pickups, and it's like it doesn't necessarily mean that you've got the ones that you like. DiMarzios are the same. I mean, those DiMarzios there are very hard to use. The Steve Vai Evo ones, they're kind of they're incredibly clean and articulate, which I understand if you're pure amazing in the guitar. The problem is you get very little to hide behind. I kind of like a bit more fuzziness, so I can make more mistakes and you don't hear them as loud a little bit. Kind of thing. Porn mag with an EPFG Junior. There you go. I've not seen a porn mag for years. A lot of nice gear in the chat. You're getting a mixer to try tape delay on an old reel to reel. Why not? Aye. Modified fuzz face called a fuck face. Yeah. I think my wee a wee Delamo pedals, a Fuzz Face copy. I don't know. It depends what it is you're after. I mean, I borrowed so many. My Fuzz First Day you were talking about earlier on. There must be 50 videos of that, because I did a couple of fuzz things, and one of my pals was like, "Oh, I'll get you." So you did a Fuzz First Day. Here's 8 pedals to work through. So that was 8 weeks of it. And then my other pals up here, you finished your Fuzz First Day. That's me. I've run out of pedals. Is up here. He came over with another bag of pedals. So none of them were mine. But I mean, to be honest, one of the ones I like best is one I already had, that wee Delamo thing, and I only bought that because it was cheap. And it's crap, but I like it. I don't know. Bought a Fender strap in a charity shop with a fiver in a little pocket. You can't argue with that. Stereo 4-track multi-speed. That's right. Wow, you had to get some recordings done. Stereo 4-track that'd have been an expensive bastard at one point. I actually had one. I sold it, but I don't know whatever happened to it. I think it got lost in the post. I had to give the guys money back. A Bang & Olufsen one, and the one I had, it didn't work properly, but it was the same model of Bang & Olufsen reel-to-reel tape recorder that Roy Wood sold the publishing rights to all his stuff from the Move to buy, so he could do 4-track recordings at home. He sold like the Blackberry Way and I Can Hear the Grass Grow. All the publishing right went for that, and he bought that Bang & Olufsen thing with the money. Which I suppose at the time, best strings for fretless waist, I don't know. I mean, I would just don't bother buying really expensive strings. Instead, buy frets and put them in it. I can't get it. I think flat wounds are probably the way to go. I've never been a one for the reel to reel. I kind of missed that. Cassettes and records, yeah, but never reel to reel. Flat ones are more. You get ones. I remember my pal. I've still got them actually. If it's a short scale, I've got strings for you. They were like coated in black rubber strings for he bought it for the Fender Music Master bass and put them on it to stop it buzzing. Which obviously just there's not an awful lot of treble in a short scale Music Master bass anyway. So you use flat wound strings that are coated in black rubber for no treble at all, like just no notes. It's just it's got a thing. A little Big Muff, £15 at the pod. That's ridiculous. I don't have a Big Muff. Yeah, I do have a Micro Metal Muff, but I don't think it's really the same thing. I should probably. I keep put it up for sale every year just for a wee bit, just like that pure. Yeah, Micro swap for any other kind of Big Muff, any other one, because it's kind of like it's a bit brutal. It's got a switch on it. It's like it's got a high and a low and an off switch in the middle. And if you go to high, it's like the most horrible high pitch sound. If you go to low, it's the most horrible low pitch sound. If you got it in the middle, I kind of think it is sort of a Big Muff, but it's a bit more brutal sounding. I don't know if it's really what I'm after. It doesn't have a nice sound, a nice soft sound, which I like. But you can play a drop key to any key you fancy. Yes. I had a few shots of them, but I mean, these are the ones that are maybe, once they get to sort of 10 years old, they're not good for investment purposes if you're buying a new one, but you're buying these things for 10 years old. I can't even remember what I sold that one I had for. I think I got 50 quid. I think I took it to China and swapped it for a guitar. But I mean, it's one of those things. If that's what you want, and it was relatively easy to use, and it was 20-bit digital, so it's like it was better than CD quality samples and stuff. But I just don't like effects units. I can't. Any chorus or flanger or delay, it's like, yeah, totally for 5 minutes, it's fine. Then it's like, can you turn that off now? I mean, I've never say never, but I don't really get it. I don't like guitar with tons of shit on it. It just makes it sound like 80s. I kind of like a guitar that sounds like it's just a guitar plugged into an amp. Bouncing, lots of bouncing, quite right. Cheap Olympia brand flat wounds, pretty good. 2 packs in a junk shop for a £5 each. They're probably a £5 each, and they were probably 20 years old. I bought flat wounds once years ago for my Epiphone EBO, and I hated them because they went rusty and started cutting my fingers. Obviously, if I'd cleaned them, they wouldn't have done that. I've not had flat wounds since then. I bulk at the price of bass strings. I know it's ridiculous. I set a decent bass thing here, just roto sounds are like 25 quid, and it's like I've got there's a bass that I played a gig with that didn't cost 25 quid and that includes me buying strings for it and putting other hardware on it. You know, it's difficult. I think Akai are pretty good, Mr. White. Little Big Muff, yeah. No, the one I bought, basically, I'll be honest, I bought it because it was only a tenner and it was a micro metal muff, and I like the name. So there's something. They must have sold so many more pedals just because it's called Big Muff. There you go. Also, at one point, I had a Fux Fuzz. That was a fucking awful pedal. I didn't like that at all. It got really good reviews, and it was quite funny. I got a Fux Fuzz FUXX, I think it was. Fux Fuzz, and it was a horrible, horrible thing. That's like before I liked fuzz pedals. Did we see that mental new venue in Vegas that U2 played? No, but I saw somebody posted a picture of the Edge playing an SG the other night, so I'd assume it was probably that gig. I didn't know U2 were still going. It doesn't interest me. My acoustic bass came with black strings. Some week off put them up, but that's how the factory put them out. Possibly, yeah. But you're talking about what strings to buy. I take it the ones that are on it are fucked. Because basically the way I'm looking at it, if the bass strings don't actually physically hurt to play, they're fine. Probably. I've got a couple of basses and that quite disgustingly, I'm pretty sure still have the factory strings on them. One of them's my 5-string Ibanez. It's from 1999. And the worst one is I've got an Aria Pro 2 that's got like 2 P-bass pickups on it. It's like the Rock device, it's called. And I am 95% sure that those strings are from 1987. I should buy more. I should. I haven't because I'm a lazy bastard. And I don't like playing it. U2 guitars, the Edge, got famous as for playing so few notes and strings. Yes. Yeah, that's a thing when you're talking. Hey, Papa Blue, how's it going? Yes, the thing about something, it can become very expensive very quickly. It's like I'm sure I remember reel-to-reel tape recorders being cheap, but it's one of those ones that's like, pick it up, and it's like just to get a new belt for it or a new motor, you're suddenly up at 50 quid, and it's like that's more what I paid for the machine. And then how much is the machine going to be worth working? And it's like it's just some swings, and you got to work your way around. There's some simple mods on the web for the muff. I added a top boost to mine, which brings back the clarity and the low gain settings. It's uselessly muddy normally. I have heard this, Kenneth. I think mine is actually my micro metal muff actually says with top boost on the top of it. Do like the Edge. I like the Edge. I don't like any of his. I don't like any U2 songs. I don't think. There's some of the ones. What was it? I know. What you? I don't pure hate that one, but I hate all the ones that are famous. Just pure terrible. But I like the guy after that. It Might Get Loud film. I think he's a funny guy, and I think his just unfortunately because Bono's such an arsehole, some of that arsehole vibe it encompasses the Edge as well. I think the Edge is actually pretty cool. Love Tiak gear. Don't have enough at home. I just keep looking for these things. I don't know. It's one of those odds. What was that I saw? It's an Onkyo. Are they good? I saw an Onkyo amplifier in a charity shop around the corner from Jen's a couple of weeks ago. It was only like a tenner or 15 quid, and it was like a multi-surround sound thing. But I've got a Yamaha natural sound thing. I mean, fucking. Oh, can I? 49 ads will run. Can I just go skip ads? Can I just turn the ads off? Maybe. Because I'm not getting fucking any money anyway. So hopefully there were ads. Some people saw ads there and then I just turned them off. Maybe. Don't know. I'll just turn it off next week. Saw U2 supporting Thin Lizzy. They were rightly welcomed with every bottle of piss that came to hand and booed off stage. Yeah. It's difficult. I don't know. U2's another kind of like there's a few bands that kind of kick about round about that era. I think it was U2 first, then Guns N' Roses, then Oasis were the band that everyone liked because they're cool. And it's like, have you ever heard any other? No, but U2 are pure amazing. Oh, they're pure great. I really like the idea of being like into music, but I've got no opinions. I can't. No, I don't. It's like, pure. What do you think of this song? Oh, I don't know who is it. I'll need to look up. I need to ask all my friends to see if they like it before I can say whether I like it or not. Is one of them. The Stone Roses were a bit like that as well. I never liked them. I don't hate them as much now because they don't get as much coverage. But U2 were fucking massive, and everyone loved them. And to me, it was not. I've never heard it. If they had done a song that I thought was pure great, I would have changed my mind. I just never. It was like, pure. What is that? Oh god, I just didn't enjoy them. 20 years ago, we got a 2-track wheelchair in a thrift shop, 52 at the repair shop. They said they didn't have the parts but didn't return it. Lying scumbags. There you go. The new venue was the Star. It cost $2 billion. Wow. Onkyo was good. I have that surround sound amp, $20. Still use it. That sounds like it might have been the same one. Yeah. I need to set up my fucking surround sound amp. I keep noticing it. I think I'd use surround sound more. I do have a Super Audio CD player, one of the few people that I can actually play. And I've got fucking DVD audio, DTS, and lots of surround sound stuff. The thing I used the surround sound for most was like I think it's just Dolby Pro Logic, like the artificial surround sound. When you're watching a really bad quality film, that it's like, you know, the music's dead loud and you're kind of struggling to hear. If you hit the artificial surround sound, it takes all the speaking out and puts it through the center speaker. So you can basically have the speaking up quite loud by turning up the center speaker, and then the explosions and the music you can have down, so you can watch these things late at night. Bastards. Everyone's bastards, Mr. White. You know that. Oasis were never cool. They were a throwback. That one thing had been done twice by the 90s. We shot when I first seen them. Thought, what year is it? 1980. They were cool. That was the thing. They were the biggest band ever. I suppose. You're complaining. I'm complaining about the things they did, but they did make guitar cool. So I suppose they sold guitar to a lot of people. I think a lot of people probably heard the Beatles because of them. So, you know, but I can't understand. I still don't get it. There's obviously something huge that I just don't get. See, I was always attracted to the things that nobody else liked because I'm a little bit different. You know what I mean? It's like I don't. I mean, after a fucking kid, I don't. Never liked they were good. Oh. Ian Brown is the missing link between monkeys and people. But that was the whole thing. The Stone Roses, the reason people liked that was because you could sing along. There's like, you know, to a certain extent, singing along with Ozzy or singing along with Robert Plant or Rob Halford's not really that easy. You know, it's like pure, you know, it's like pure finished work. It's like, oh, not a lot of people. That's quite difficult to do, but it's like, oh, what the Ian Brown and Stone Roses did. The words are ha na na ha na na ha na. Everybody fucking can do that. There's no, you know, it's like it's not really singing as such. So, and Oasis did the same. It's like you just go and you can sing it all because none of it's hard, and that's basically all you've got. Whereas at least the Stone Roses had music behind it, whereas Oasis don't. It's like pure just a mush, and then you've got the melody line stolen from Beatles records and stuff. But the melody line is that all there is in any Oasis song. The rest of it's just strum with distortion, and there's maybe two guitars playing that bit, and then the bass is just playing bum 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 bum. You know, it's just pish. It's just pish. Always avoided Oasis, but you might be right. You nailed it with Brown. Yeah, totally. Bono thanks Whitesnake. Forget Bongo's name. They say Rennie could play but guitar, bass, and sing better than the others. He chose drums. Possibly. I don't know. No, that inspire a lot of mediocre guitar players. But then there must be a lot of people who started off playing, you know, like say, I don't know, when you're impressionable at school, because when I was at school and stuff, I remember buying trainers. You know, it's like Nike Air trainer. I remember being one of the normals, and then I don't know when it was, I realised that I wasn't, and I was lying to myself. It was very much with the music as well, because I didn't like NXS Kick, even though everybody else thought it was amazing. I had my Shadows and the Beach Boys and fucking Rainbow Greatest Hits. It was like, no, I really like this though. And most folk would be like, up here, what is it? Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. Have you heard it? No, but that's not U2. U2 are the best band. Is that all right? Have you heard? No, it doesn't matter. I think you'll find I looked it up on fucking whatever magazine, and U2 are the best. I just don't think. I just never heard anything in it. An Encore Digital amp in my main hi-fi, decent amp, but it's limited ins and outs compared to the old style hi-fi amps. Encore were a Gibson company. Well, there you go. Chimp and a Trackie. Honestly, if you'd said Chimp and a Trackie, I'd probably have guessed Ian Brown, yeah. John Lynton is the best. Everyone can do it, but the Gallagher's had no shame, and that's why they made the money. They knew it, but that's the thing. It's the whole thing about the art thing. I do remember I watched a documentary and it was Noel Gallagher in it. And he was totally smug about how he'd done it. And it's like he was, and fully aware of what he was doing, making music for people who were, not going to say stupid, right? People who didn't like music. That's what he was. And if he had like a really ripping guitar riff, because he must have, the guy's played the guitar for fucking 40 years. He must be able to play the guitar, but he knows that that's not what will sell. So you've got to do what will sell. It's just basically, we can just churn out utter shite. I know it's shite, but look at all the money and people say I'm brilliant. You know, it's like, it's bizarre. But it's a no shame thing. Yes. Apart from when I saw, again, I'm going to go back to Oasis, and I still don't have anything against Liam Gallagher, because he was actually on that stage when I saw Oasis in, I don't know, 2000 or something like that, Murrayfield. Liam was a rock star / musician. He was. The rest of the band were all fucking awful, but he was giving it the banter between songs, kind of dancing about a bit, doing stupid stuff and singing, and he was all right. I've got nothing against him. I really can't stand that the main narrative is, oh, Liam's just a dick. Noel's a pure genius. The songwriting, there's no fucking songwriting. There's no art in it. Looking up, thinking, oh, I want to do a song like that Burt Bacharach song, going to the guitar shop, buying the fucking tab book, looking at the chords, learning the chords, and then playing them in a backwards order to make your song that sounds like the bit. That's not fucking art. I'm sorry. Hey, how come the local news here in Holland was promoting bug eating? Bud or bug? Obviously, I'm thinking bud, weed, eat one of them. See you next Sunday. For sure. Right, I'm going to... Since I'll move over here and go into this is a roll in a fag section of the evening. John Legend was the ultimate punk. He started selling Lurpak. I kind of liked him up until the point. I even saw him defend that. He was like, up here, yeah, I've got up here. Oh, you're a pure punk. Was it been butter? And he was like, up here, I like butter. Butter's fucking great. And you're like, okay, I suppose. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I think butter's pretty good as well. But I mean, it was his Brexit views and stuff like that were a bit kind of. It put me off him a lot. Went through a strange Doors phase. I remember when the Doors. It must have been around about the time. I think I remember Light My Fire being on Top of the Pops, like a pure black and white. Was it round about the time when the thing came out, when the Doors film came out? Because that was one of these things like U2 and NXS and all that, where everyone listened to it, and I was like, when I heard that, it was like I kind of like Light My Fire, but I only heard Break On Through. I was like, that's fucking great. Yes, and I'm still to this day a Doors fan. But a lot of these other people who were into Doors because they were cool, and then obviously a couple of years later, oh, the Doors not anymore. Oh, no, it's Oasis. Oh, I love Oasis. They're like, no, I like the Doors genuinely because the Doors are still awesome. They're fantastic. I don't say it was the biggest Doors fan. There's not enough a lot of Doors, I suppose. There's only, was it 6 albums or something like that? I do obviously have all of them. And They've all got their moments. I don't think there's a shit one. There is shit ones. There's ones after Jim Morrison left. One's called Full Circle. It's got a really cool cover on it, and I bought it just because I thought it was rare. But no, got to be there. Got to be there. But I've never really got punk either. Never been my thing. Mexico eat beetles and tacos. But I mean, it's one of those things again. We were talking to the other night about, I think it was JPAX talking about how the Chinese eat dogs. And it's like, well, why not? I mean, if you eat cows and pigs, then it's just a cultural thing, just the idea of it. Johnny's TV series, Insects. Oh. When you go cycling, you get $3 for free at the rest, as long as it's meat and not vegan yoga. Anything works for Vikings. Yeah. Bugs. No, I mean, I did. When I was in China, there were, you could go in and buy like kebab skewers with various types of bug on them, deep fried, and it's like I never ventured that way. But you could buy some really bizarre things like in packets in the corner shops. You get like a kind of like jerky, but it's a squid like in a horrible sealed bag, and it's like very questionable about some of the things that you could eat, and just like pure. You know, it's like you could just buy a packet of cockroaches, like salted caramel cockroaches, and you're just like, nah. The musicians in the Doors, I love. The singer, not so a bit Sinatra baton. See, I don't know. See, I always liked it. I thought it was great the way they were so different. Like the Doors, I didn't hear all the songs sounding the same. Like when I first listened to them, please believe me, the river told me, all that shit. I like it. The Doors are unique. Yeah, but the one that really got me was I bought a DVD. Because obviously, when the film came out, there was I think it was 3 videos came out. There was Dancing Fire, the best of the Doors. There was the Soft Parade, and there was the Live at the Hollywood Bowl, something like that. And I remember seeing the Dance on Fire one, which had videos. I think it actually had it. There's a proper video for Break On Through, kind of a bit like Jumpin' Jack Flash video, and then it was good. But I do like the Doors are fucking awesome. When you watch that live video, the Live at the Hollywood Bowl, it's their ability to go quiet is something I can't do. They're brilliant, you know, when they're just milking it for all it's worth. And you are just talking about a keyboard, but was there a bass player on it? I can't remember, but you know, they bring it right down, and it's just pure nothing going on, but they're still maintaining. Then it builds up and goes back down again, and you're like, it's really when you hear them live, it really is good. And when I saw them with Ian Astbury singing, they were doing that kind of just jamming thing, but it was like so soft. It was like even though they were fucking, they're playing when the music's over, and they're not that intricate songs, but it's just the way they play them are fantastic. The Doors out Bars. Well, yeah, it didn't work. Let's start a tribute band, the Revolving Doors. What, are you just going to constantly just stand and... I bet you that'd be hilarious for the first song, and I bet you everyone would stay for the first song to see if you could just revolve for the second song as well. Love Densmore, yeah, possibly, yeah. Don't really know much about it, but even it's basically his Manzarek in it. To me, the Doors is Manzarek. And when I saw them down at the Armadillo, they were fucking great. Is that up here? Yeah. Everyone come down to the front, man. We're going to play. Is that up here? Is that... No, not on the stage, man. And it's like some guy, Ned guy, obviously. Everyone in there was drinking Bucky. And Ian Astbury was the worst person to be, or the best person to cause a riot. So up here, Glasgow, Bucky for the Neds. And we're all like that. This is the Doors. I can see Manzarek and Krieger there, and we've got a guy looks like Jim Morrison, leather trousers, haircut, drunk, going Bucky. This is bizarre. Fucking love it. Oh. Hey, Dorothy the Lab Skeleton, glad you're back. Wheat frozen bloodworm, back to Tropical Fish Storm. I remember buying bloodworms. Yeah, no, it must be some town if it's actually sells maybe if they sell frozen bloodworms. I remember getting bloodworms from I used to have a tropical tank when I was a student, and buying them and getting home, and it's basically you put the bloodworms in and all the fish just turned red. You could see the bloodworms inside them because the fish were all kind of translucent, sort of. So after you put the bloodworms in, you could see them all swimming about in the odd like a red belly, and you could actually see the worms in their belly, and it was like, not much fun. So the Doors are gone without Jim Morrison. No Doors in the building. Modern solution. Yeah, very good. Doors like the Windies. That was what my dad said. I remember asking my dad when I was, I don't know when would that have been, when I was like maybe 12 or 13, because they were a 60s band. So it was like, oh, obviously, the obvious dad joke is, do you remember the Doors? I like their music. And dad's like, I preferred the Windows. Obviously, because he's a dad. And it's like, there's certain things you have to do. One of them is that. The other one is with the Who. Listen to the Who. The Who. Yeah. But yeah. And also another one, Irish stew. Why is it called a windy? Because when you open it, it gets windy. Obviously. Yeah. This is Richard. This is my wife Dorothy. We live in a bedsit. And sit in a bedsit, eat bloodworms. Fine. Nothing at all psycho going on there at all. I can totally picture it. Is it a bedsit? You have Dorothy the lab's getting at the window and you sit out the front and then talk to her? Think so. Here's the thing with bug eating. They kill them first with insecticide and then process them. Lovely. Wet lettuce and actual guitar about... That's the thing about... I know you like Japanese guitar marker, so do I. Are you a fan of anything else Japanese? I'm a Casio fanboy. Got a Casio guitar. I've got a Casio, which is made in Japan. Baby Metal, one of my favorite band. No compromise, no competition. Baby Metal are my favorite band that have been out in the last 20 years, and they're as Japanese as you can get. Not super huge on Japanese food, but yeah, no, definitely. I'm a drill snob. Yes, well, that's it. It gets worse than that. I'm also a Dremel snob, which I haven't really been realizing because Scott keeps talking about his Dremel. So I've got a Dremel. You got a Dremel? Oh, cool. And he's like, look at it. It's like, yeah, it's by Black Spar. It's not a Dremel. What you've got there is a rotary tool. Not arguing that. Not a Dremel though. Dremel's a Dremel. Fucking brutal bastard of a thing. So yeah, I'd admit being a snob. Fuck it. Only about certain things. Snob about the Japanese guitars. Snob about DeWalt drills. My angle grinder isn't even DeWalt, but I've got DeWalt fucking no. Yeah. No, Casio had their moments. So actually, if you're a Casio fanboy, I've actually got a synth. I've got a CZ1. This is before Casio became famous for doing cheap stuff. Because when I was a kid, Casio made digital watches, like calculator watches and shit like that. So that's where I knew Casio from, and obviously they made sort of cheap keyboards. But in the 80s, they weren't cheap. They weren't known for doing that. They hadn't yet found their niche. So some of the stuff was really expensive. I mean, it was something like, it was £1,600 was the list price for the guitar I had in 1988. And I think if you scale that up, it's like $4,000 or something stupid. So that's why it never sold, obviously. But crazy. Oh. Don't say compensation dating or used underwear dispensers. I don't know what compensation dating is. I have heard of the universal you can get, it's like a vending machine where you can buy girls' pants out it. Yeah, well. Those Casio bastards won't do a plug-in of the drum sounds. I don't know. I mean, I assume Casio still exists. It's just one of those ones you don't think about it. I mean, Casio watches, right? My watch might be I've not. I stopped wearing a watch. The thing is, I stopped wearing a watch when I started having a phone all the time. So it's like you've always got your phone, so you don't need a watch. Is really the way it goes. Got a Casio VL tone calculator plus keyboard, old classic 80s. I've got. actually a fucking full-on synthesizer. What really pisses me off is that I got it right and it worked, and then I put new batteries in it, and then I forgot about it, and then I tried it again, and it doesn't work anymore, which is really fucking annoying. Because it did. It was amazing to use it in what's that American chat show? There's one where Metallica they use it because it's got like a drum loop in it. It's actually got a fucking ADSR synthesizer in it, and it's a calculator. What I found was amusing about this was the era this came out. I think for the first year, it was calculator first, and then synthesizer second, and then for the second year they changed it to synthesizer with calculator rather than calculator with synthesizer. No, but I mean, I found it surprisingly good to play. Something about it being so cheap and having buttons on it, it was like, I don't know, it was amazing. Never had a Casio, isn't it? A G-Shock watch, I remember that. Got to get an old Casio and sample the drum sounds. It's pretty easy to do, man. I've had a few Casio keyboards. I had one freaking, I can't even remember what it's called. Phase distortion synthesis, which I like just because that's a cool sounding name, innit? Phase distortion. Don't need to know the time. Well, there you go. It's kind of handy. I just found it's like sometimes you're better not knowing. And I remember working. It comes back to my security guard shift. That one time I did it in the co-op. Every time I was working in the back shift, the co-op stacking shelves. And when you were in a Saturday, the security guard had to get like a half-hour break. So I was like, "Do you want to cover that?" And for half an hour, he'd, "Oh, yeah, totally." So he'd cover that. Basically, just stand outside and do nothing for half an hour. It's great. And then one Saturday, I had the options. Like, anyone want the security guard shift? I'll take it. That'll be fucking great. So it was like an 8 hours. Oh God, no! My watch didn't work that day like that. Pure, just standing there like that. Right. I started at 9. It must be coming up for 11. 20 past 9. Oh fuck! It was like that all day, and at that point from then on, it was just absolute torture. I enjoyed being on the plane coming back from China more than I enjoyed that shift. Could never do that ever. Oh. Just to wear a fancy watch. I would wear a watch. My watch, it's kicking about somewhere. It's probably, when was the last time I was in China? That's where I got the battery changed in it. I had the one I've got tells you the tide, which when I was using my boat was great because I could look at it and go, "Up, you're right. 10 o'clock in the morning. What's the tide like? Oh, if I go if I leave now, it means that the high tide's at 12. Got time to get the boat out, and when I get up to the chalet, it's going to be easy to launch and all that shit. That was good. I should be able to get it working in Yoakum. The problem is, it's like it did work. It worked when I bought it. And then it just doesn't work now. But I mean, it's not even turning on. It's probably something to do with the batteries. Maybe I didn't put powerful enough batteries in it or something like that. No, I even had it. I've even got a lead to plug it in through the amp. I don't think I ever actually did a video of it, but I was fucking working out all sorts of shit on it. It was like, for some reason, it was all 80s, like your Spandau Ballet and all that, all that shit. It was like fucking. It was great playing it in that because it had, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 sounds, but because it was so limited, and the problem I've got with a proper synthesizer is it's so many options, and you have to be able to play with 2 hands. It's like it becomes really difficult. Whereas like a mono synth, I've got like a wee Moog, and the great thing with that is that you've got maybe, I don't know, 10 knobs or 10 faders that do all the different parameters. But you can only play one note at a time, so you're limited to only playing one note. And it's like I can play fucking keyboard with one hand. It's just when it comes to playing chords at the same time, bit the windy. But it's like, so you play riffs with your right hand and then twiddle knobs with your left. But with that wee Casio, you can only play one note. It was quite difficult to actually play the notes. You could fucking work out anything. It's like an octave thing on it and everything. It's fucking great. Yeah, Einstein's theory is time is relative. Yes. Yeah. I have one obligation in January to check my retina after laser injections. I'm doing well. Check back. I need to try other ones. It's possible the batteries I put out it didn't work. I need to have another go at it because I found it freaking remarkable, especially the fact that it had that click track bassline thing in it. Could you not even record I think could you not record like a loop pedal almost sort of thing? It did some crazy shit. watches are like guitars. He says you don't need one, but you want one. No, you want lots. Yeah, again, I know some people are mad into watches. I suppose one of the things about watches is kind of like the same as folk who've got lots of pedals. Watches don't take up very much space, but I guess like a guitar, I can't physically play all these guitars at the same time. So why do you need more than one? And it's like you get a bit of that with a watch. It's like you can only wear one, but I mean, it's enjoyable to have them, and maybe if you've got lots of watches, it's enjoyable to look at different watches to see what time it is. I'm being a bit sarcastic here because obviously on the guitars I can go up here. Oh, but that one sounds different from that one. It's nice to have a different guitar. It makes you play a bit differently. Whereas if you've got a different watch, it doesn't make you read the time differently. I don't know. Casios are overpriced because of the chuckleheads. I don't know, but I mean, fair enough. Being into things, it's like I can't mock. Anyway, it's just because my thing is guitars, and again, it comes down to okay, I could argue all these guitars sound different, but do they sound a lot different? Really? Not really. Really. I mean, I could pretty much play. I reckon I could play fucking, I don't know, a Black Sabbath song on any one of these. Okay, you're going to be able to tell the ones that are basses that I'm playing a bass, but the other ones I don't think you could tell if it was blindfolded. Oh, use the Casio when you had that Fender G Deck Junior amp. I did, yes. That wee bastard got that back. He's like, "You want this amp? It's broken." Like just for free. I was like, "Up here, yeah." There was fucking something broken in it, and I fucking basically I looked up on the internet, and it was like a capacitor that was blown or something, a wee yellow piece. So I was like, "Up here, all right." It was a pure common fault. So I just bought the capacitor. It was only like £1.50 from eBay. Soldiered it in, and the guitar worked. The wee bastard took the guitar back, took the amp back. It was because it had a MIDI player in it, so you could put MIDI files because it's from that era when you could play, like MIDI files through it. It had like basically you could plug the Casio MG guitar in it, and you had a full bank, a general MIDI bank, just using that amp with the Casio. It's good. Chuckleheads, idiots, simps, morons, Neds, morons works here. I've not heard Chuckleheads before. I would think maybe that was people who were into the Chuckle Brothers. If you don't know who the Chuckle Brothers were, they were actually quite funny. I think a lot of people watch. Yeah, but why have different color guitars? Well, because colors are good. It's like it comes into these though. I mean, look at the fancy ones. I still think you could take any one of the J-Pax guitars, put that in any guitar shop, and that's going to be the most interesting guitar in there. Straight up. Put that fucking tartan bass in Guitar in Town. They've got 1,000 guitars on it. I bet you a fair 3/4 of the people that walk into the shop are going to go, "Oh, what's that? Oh, something different," Oh. I don't know. I have different colours. I know, but yeah, I don't generally. I always find it. See if you look up on this internet and you're looking up folk who've got like if you go into the the BC Rich guitar fan page or the Ibanez RG guitar fan, you see people on the Strat page. You always see people who've got like here's my collection of guitars, and they've got 10 Mexican Stratocasters in different colours, and it's like that. I don't. I mean, I'm better at justifying having the different ones. The one that's a bit different is the Washburn Wing series, which as soon as I realised that they've all got cool names, like the Hawk and the Eagle, and well, I have to have all of them. And there's not that much difference between them, really. It's just like some of them are a bit fancier, but other ones, it's like. And saying that, I do have a guitar. It's basically exactly this. This is one of the few guitars I've got a duplicate of. I've got this exact guitar, badged Grant. It's red, candy apple red, but it's the same. It's basically exactly the same guitar, which I should sell and keep this one because it's a bit more interesting being this color. But yeah, Yorkshire. It's like Yorkshire. People are cool in Yorkshire. But I paid for Marshall 150 AVT on eBay. 10 minutes later, I get an email. Wouldn't post it to Northern Ireland, even though price included postage. Finally got a full. Yeah, no, that's I don't think that's necessarily the. Hold on, ads run shortly. skip ads. Yeah, I know, but that's eBay just being dicks though, because they're sitting there and they've sold it and going like that. eBay's told them it costs a tenner to post, and then they've just said no, we're not posting it in Northern Ireland. It's a shame. It's difficult. I mean, I've seen guitars before in Northern Ireland, and you're a bit worried about. I mean, you're not far away. Whatever. I mean, Ireland's only fucking 11 miles from Campbelltown, something like that. I always wanted to do it in my boat because there used to be a big map on the wall at the chalet, and it was like looking at it, I can get to Campbelltown in an hour. You know what I mean? I get to Campbelltown, and it's only fucking 11 miles, and it's like you look at the wee stretch of fucking between the top of Arran and Ireland, and it's like it's got like squiggles in it going severe sea conditions like that. Oh, and I think there's not the biggest concentration of shipwrecks in Europe are in that bit between Campbelltown and Ireland, so it's like maybe not bother with that. But you definitely used to see folk at the oyster catcher, which is at Otter Ferry on Loch Fyne, and there was day trips that came, like stag weekends would come over from Ireland, and it would have like a big rib, took 10 folk, and it would be like an hour and a rib to get to fucking the oyster catcher, which is in the middle of nowhere in Scotland from fucking Belfast. But so for like an hour in a mad rubber boat, and you're at this pub that's just in the middle of absolutely nowhere. It's fucking my favourite pub ever. That's the best pub in the world. The only pub I like. The only pub I've ever liked in my whole life. It's my favourite pub ever. Is the oyster catcher on Loch Fyne down at Otter Ferry. But that's because it's the most beautiful place. My favourite is church fried chicken. Oh. Yorkshire got pals from Lancashire. They don't have nice things to say. I don't know. The thing about you got to remember, it's like, see, looking at the north, a lot of people in England, because of the way the media goes, stuff like that, they think of Scotland as just being in the north, and they hate people in Yorkshire just as much as they hate us. You know, your southerners, and it's like, well, fair enough, but it's not really the north. We're fucking down south. I mean, I can even class folk, is that pure? Oh, you're from down south to Kilmarnock, not down south in the air where the weather's nicer. And it's like it's only fucking, I don't know, probably latitude wise about 10 miles south of me, but fucking poof, it's always sunny and all that. Yeah. So you with Mill and Eve. The thing about the Yorkshire accent is, because it's a bit of a mad accent like what I've got, I could talk to somebody from Yorkshire and it's like 2 seconds, got no problem. But I found very much when I went to Liverpool, it was like pure. I just talked to everyone, and everyone thought we were great, and we thought they were all great. It was brilliant. Just that whole Scottish people not liking English people and all that you have to go much further south before you get to proper English people. The people in Liverpool are like us, and it's like, but it's very much a case of it's such a different attitude. You know, I mean, if I'm down in London or something like that, and just like, pure. Sorry, could you tell me where the train station is? It's pure. Yeah. Whereas in Liverpool, it's like, you tell me where the train station is. Man, totally. It's fucking. You're from Glasgow. Cool. You know, it's like a certain camaraderie in there. That's why once we get independence, I think we should just make the border a Harris fence and just have a wee vote. Like, we could just move it down a wee bit. You know, like Newcastle. Everyone in Newcastle's cool and mental and basically Scottish, but not actually in Scotland. Just if I can just make it a Harris fence and the guy, do you want a vote? You can have a vote. You can either join us or you can stay with the the Eatonites and all that. Stay with the aristocracy or you can come with us. Fucking, they're coming with us. Just move that fence down a wee bit, and then you just keep moving the fence down. Yep. A slight smell of ammonia. I don't know. I don't know what to say. And I post one up. Yeah, all the arms are just dumped there. That's where it's like Britain, broad shoulders. Like, I was like, just like, it's only Glasgow. Just dump all the fucking munitions there. No, it's like a total munitions dump. There's always I've even seen bombs washed up on the beaches of Loch Fyne. It kind of looked a wee bit like a like a 2-litre Coke bottle or something like that, and it was white. And it was like, up here, this is a bomb. Please phone the police. So I didn't bother poking it with a stick. But I mean, yeah, and because it just dumped all the shit in there. Country bumpkin accent. So have you eaten your sandwich yet? No, I've just decided just to get pissed, Scott. Fuck it. It's only 9:30. I've drank nearly all my bucky, but once the bucky's gone, I can end this shenanigans. On Inkley Moor Bar. I do know what that means. This must be the best guitar bass OnlyFans channel. Cheers all. As OnlyFans mean. Don't know, but nobody's spiking the likes. Go on, spike those likes. They don't cost any money. Spike them. I'm going to get a t-shirt that says spike the likes. Some ABBA on guitar. I wish I could play some ABBA on guitar. I keep always trying to play the same one. And I can never remember how it goes. It's really annoying. They're actually quite hard, ABBA. I'm sure there's easy ones, but I can't remember them. So no, I can't. If I got further... Let's see, I can't remember. No, I will learn. I'll learn work it, but I'm so English people in London, yes. London's horrible. I'm sorry if you're from London, but it's horrible. I just don't feel anything about London. The last couple of times I've been down, it's just that I don't want anything to do with this place. It's disgusting. Sorry. Didn't feel that about Liverpool. Liverpool's like, this is cool. Vote with me. Best ABBA song is SOS. There's a lot of good. Tiger as well. The city is a jungle, a telephone dream. Boom, boom. It's fucking good. No, ABBA's got fucking lots of great ones. Only session musicians played by ABBA, so no worries. Well, but I think they were specific session musicians. I think it was always the same guys that are on all the ABBA records. They were just always the same guys, but yeah. Non-rhotic accent, Australia and the Welsh do it also. Eva Pank, I have no idea what you're talking about. Any Swedish black metal? No, but I've got a West Tone Pantera, which apparently is very famous for that. But the sandwich I've got is well, it's reduced from £3.50 to 60 pence, but it's an American style southern fried chicken with slaw on a white tortilla. So I will eat that now because I am feeling quite drunk. Well, it's technically not a sandwich; it's a tortilla wrap, but southern fried chicken. But it might give me a bit more energy to not be completely pissed. Pretty Ballerina. Never heard it. I think Swedish Black Metal, did they not eat the fucking bass player or something like that? I don't know. It's before my time, but I think it's or maybe Norwegian black metal. Maybe get the Scandinavian countries mixed up. Yeah. I think they ate. I'm pretty sure it was a thing about the singer killed himself and the rest of the band ate him or something. I don't know. Black metal gave metal a bad name, Maniacs. I don't know, but the thing is as long as if the music's good, I don't think it was really didn't make sense. I'm looking at the window and it's windy. Yeah, see that's why it's called a windy. Totally. The mayor of my town is Ahmed. Europe band. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it ever did. I never got black metal. I do like thing, Cradle of Filth. I bet they're black metal. I've never really got much else. I remember Venom in the 80s. I thought their album covers were silly. I thought they looked cool as fuck. I bought a Venom Greatest Hits and it really was. It was shit, I'll be honest. Well, I don't know. I mean, they probably have some stuff. I mean, they're doing stuff that never, but just like they weren't very good at playing. I think. But I'm actually getting to see Yngwie at Vauxhall Caravan Park this year. Going to Hard Rock Hell and Yngwie's the headliner, so that should be fun. I don't understand Relic guitars. No, there's like too much money. Alex, there's a problem. No, I want the best guitar. Oh, how do you get the best guitar? You spend the most money to get the best guitar. All right, okay. I'll hang up. Les Paul, they're the most expensive, aren't they? Yeah. What, you just want a standard £2,500? You can spend more than that. Oh, can I? How can I spend more than that? You buy a Relic one. I'm at the stage of a lot of the guitars that I've got that are Relic, as in dented. That's how I could afford them, because they were dented. I remember seeing a Thor record. I never bought it though. There was one that was in but I used to blow up hot water bottles till they exploded. Yes. I don't know. Hey, Stone Ranger, how's it going? My friend Johnny used to play with Europe in Toto. I'm actually going to see Europe in a couple of weeks. The 14th. Europe are fucking good. The band. Obviously they did the Side of Countdown, which to be honest I like, but they've got other songs as well. I think they kind of got back together in the sort of 2000s, and their albums are fucking decent, man. Kind of a wee bit Euro metal, but they're good. Dented. Would you buy a Relic guitar? No. Yeah, but the thing about that is, though, it's like, I don't understand the Relic thing. I remember the first time I saw one, I was thoroughly disappointed. It was in, I don't know if they were called Kenny's Music at the point, and they had like a 50s Telecaster, pure fuck. I was like, oh, no way, a real 50s Telecaster. It's like, and it was like, oh, Relic model 2012 or whatever it was. It's like, $4,000. It's like, oh, it's not a real beat. What the fuck? That was the first time I'd ever seen a Relic guitar. Seemed a bit metal. Europe's good hit was The Final Countdown. Got me up hiding in the house. I'm even doing the sensible thing. Spike the likes. I'm eating so I don't get too drunk too quickly and cause bitchgate again. Yeah. Relic guitars. The problem is, Scott, from Baltimore, it's like genuinely. I went into a shop. The most expensive guitar I've ever played, probably for sale. Not including Hendrix's guitar I was playing during the week, or the one that Jimi Hendrix had played. But and it was like $8,000. It was like a 59 or a 58 Les Paul, but it was like an old one. It was like maybe 5 years old, so it was a used, modern 59 Les Paul. And my pal genuinely asked me, "Is do you think that's a dent, or do you think it's part of the Relicing? Because that made a difference." And you're like, so it's like if you've got a Relic guitar, right? You're buying with all the dents on it and stuff, and you actually drop it and put a dent in it, that devalues it, because that's not Relicing. That's a real dent. It seems mental. Seems mental. So Europe at the Hydro, they move Whitesnake off the stage. That does not surprise me at all. It doesn't surprise me at all. I've got Relic Thunder. I was looking for a Relic woman. Says nobody. Well, no, maybe you've used your too high standards, Mr. Whitesnake. Well, Relic woman sounds all right. I've got many here. You walk in the street zombified. Okay, oh god. More dings than a Chinese phone book. Very good. Yeah. Well, That did feel quite nutritious, eating half of that. I can't bother eating anymore. I'm going to get back to drinking. But yeah, no, I don't understand the relic-y thing. It's the price of them as well. When I was in China, they were selling relic guitars, but they look fucking awful. You know, it's just that the problem is that, see, relicing, yes, if you've got like the nitrocellulose finish, they do chip like the way Rory Gallagher's guitar did, for example, or something. But poly finishes don't. So when you relic them, it just looks like you've hit it with a hammer. I don't get it. I don't mind old guitars looking old, but not new guitars looking old. Yes, no, but I mean, even the thing was that was $8,000 or something. That Les Paul 59 I played. See, the binding had been made to look old, but it didn't look like that. You know what I mean? That looks old because it is old. This is nearly 40 years old, something like that. And yeah, so that's why it's got this colour to it. But see, if you look on eBay and you're trying to buy, you're buying Stratocaster pickup covers, you can get creamed aged ones at the same price as the white ones and the black ones. And that's what the binding looked like on the 59 Les Paul. It was $8,000. It didn't look real at all. And it's just a case of if you really wanted a 50, why would you get one that was already beat up? That cost more. It's not like the relic ones are cheaper. They should be cheaper because then you don't have to be as careful when you're building them. So it's easier to build one. It's like you're painting it. It's always a bit of a lump. Fuck it. We'll sand that. You know what I mean? Relics. I wish you a girl who more pricks than a second-hand dartboard. Like pre-ripped chains. My 77 has that gold spider webbing everywhere. Don't mind it. No, it's fine because it's old. But that's because it is old. The thing is, if you paid like an extra $1,000 on top of your Les Paul to make it look like that, where someone's gone in with a razor blade and cut that's not. No. I love the old guitars that have aged naturally. Would never pay for one that's been deliberately bashed up. No, it's like I'd pay less for one. It's bashed up. This has got a really bad dent in it there. I just call it in my red pen, so you can't even really see it, but it's really fucking obvious if you polish the guitar. More dickheads than weekends. Relic guitars seem like stonewashed jeans, except the wear is more like furniture and fabric. I couldn't believe it the first time I saw ripped jeans. But these were really fucking expensive coming with the knees out of them, because my jeans always had fucking knees and were always fucked forever. And I remember probably only about 10 or something like that. My pal up at the Loch Fyne had, when he was a big Stone Roses fan, and he had jeans and there was like leather bits that were sewn on the inside because the holes had been cut. And it's like, really? His ripped jeans were a thing, but I mean, no, these jeans are ripped just because the knees got out it, and I'm a cheap bastard. I haven't bought new ones yet. They're still good. Once the one time you put them on though, and your toe catches it and it rips it, so it's the whole width of your knee. That's when you just cut the legs off, make them shorts. Or that's what I do anyway. Pet spiders, I don't actually see any of them. There was a couple about last night. Stonewash jeans are misguided. Oh Christ! Spiders, he's just seen one on the wall that's the same size as a whippet. Going to have to put it out. Plays conkers around your house. Jeggies, they were called when I was a kid, but yeah, I've got no problem with spiders. I've always lived in an attic, so I mean, but if I was in Australia or America or something where spiders could bite, maybe then it'd be different. But no, spiders bite. Although apparently some of them do. I don't know. Never been bitten by a spider. Oh. I'm scared of conkers. Quite right. I'm wearing stone ash jeans with zips on the thighs. They're now classed as vintage. I bought them new. What the fuck? Why would you have zips on the thighs? Really? Maybe that's fine. Is that so you can get the needle in or something? I don't know. Why would you have zips on the thighs of your jeans? A bit like Paisley. The arse is hanging at the knees of these jeans. Yes, but my jean shopping involves, how much are they? That's it. Bon Scott was a poet. Yes, I agree. A dirty poet, but so what? No, I got Bon Scott lyrics. Not my favourite. They used to be blue, they used to be new, and then used to be clean. Yes. I know the song. I can't think what it is though. The teens are doing retro 80s look here. I was a few years ago. I remember when I was working as a chippy delivery driver, so that was like 10 or 15 years ago. Was one summer when the 80s was back and there was folk looked like fucking all these, teenage girls going about wearing, like punk haircuts, wearing ripped jeans and basically just looking like someone at a Motley Crue video for a year. This was maybe just after every single person had a Slipknot hoodie. Actually, when I was teaching guitar, and it was like, can you show me how to play some Slipknot? And it was like, I'll give you the CD and I'll see what I can do and listen to it and going, I don't hear any fucking music in that. I'm sorry. It's like, I'm sorry, I can't show you that. My brain doesn't respond to the low tuning. It just goes, and it's like, I know it's going, it's like, I didn't understand it. They're punky stonewash jeans full of zips and rips. There you go. I still remember not the 9 o'clock news because I'm old. Remember watching that, and it was Griff Rhys-Jones, or was it? No, it was. Was it Griff Rhys-Jones or was it Ron Atkinson? I can't remember. We got into like a urinal in a public toilet. It was a guy, a punk, with like a jacket and jeans with hundreds of zips on it, and we were just going up to do a piss, and he was like, "No," up here looking at his, but no, and he was like trying to find his fly, and he just had so many jips, and it was like, yeah, remember that. Now I'm singing Jeans On by David Dundas. I'm just not old enough. The 80s Poodles band looked awful. Thought it was cool at the time, but looking back, I cringe. I never thought it was cool because of the age I am. I just thought, my God, why would you want to look like that? Poison and all that. And even to a certain extent, when it became later on, I started looking at the later Ozzy Osbourne album covers. So you're like, No Rest for the Wicked and stuff, and you're like, really, why with the perm and all that, and the wearing a dress? It's like, oh, I don't know. Like Hormers, actually. Sell vintage clothing as a hobby. I've done since the 90s. The kids are right into Y2K just now. It's maybe feel ancient. See, I still think of Y2K being now. It's like we're talking about new guitars. I was doing actually doing a demo of that Squire. It was 2002. That's a vintage guitar. It's a year past vintage. It only has to be 20 years old, just because I remember them being in the shops. Whereas something like that, if I was 10 years older, I would remember that, and I wouldn't think of it as being old. I think, before my time, 1987 or whatever it is. It's like, 1987. I was 9. I didn't know anything. I wasn't into music at all when I was a kid. It wasn't until I was like 14 or 15 or something when I heard Sabbath and stuff like that. I was into trainers and tracksuits and all the usual crap, computer games. Yeah, well, it's everyone on here's old bastards, I'm afraid. Helping to create a hipster. And my snoods needs a wash. I'm not even sure if I know what a snood is. I think, to be honest, I tend to attract a certain age of person, mostly men, although there are some ladies on about. But yeah. 9 o'clock news. Tommy Cooper, best dad's army, best growing up here in Sweden during the 70s. Fawlty Towers, first time I do fire my children's. But yeah, but I think back in the time, it's so different now. Actually, we used to watch TV. I said, why would you watch TV now? You know what I mean? Really? And I think even YouTube's old hat. That's why I was just saying that people are watching this are all quite similar age to me, because YouTube for us is still quite a cool thing. Whereas I think now, if you're a kid, it's like, oh no, TikTok, 15-second videos. That's it. It's just 15 seconds next, 15 seconds next, 15 seconds next, and it's like I refuse to do shorts and all that or watch them because I hate my phone. I hate fucking folks sitting on the phone. I've got a phone, but I hate folks sitting on the phone. It's fucking. I remember it's when it started happening. I mean, you'd be around, sitting playing poker or something like that, and so someone just looking up the internet. You rude bastard! Really, we're sitting here, and you're fucking just sitting looking up crap on your phone. Bastards! No, not into it at all. That's why I don't like phones. Nice Tales of the Unexpected. Citizen Smith and The Good Life. I remember seeing The Good Life. Probably sort of at the time, maybe. It's one of those things. It depends what Mum and Dad watched. It was all right. Tales of the Completely Predictable. Hey, Kit Kats, I know you're fucking old. I'm sorry, you're old once you're past. What, you're more than 18? Oh, dear, I don't know. It was, but the thing is, you look at it and it's like people were forced to watch things that were of quality. When I was a kid, like things like Doctor Who, a lot. Fucking, you look at the views something like Doctor Who got, even when it was shit. When I used to watch it, like when it was Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy, they were pulling like 9 million views on a Saturday night when it was on. And it's like you look at something like, fucking Star Wars Ahsoka or something like that. They're not getting 9 million views, and they're worldwide. That includes America. Whereas here, there's only 55 million people here, so 1 in 5 people in Britain watch Doctor Who because there was nothing else fucking on TV. Same with something like Blake 7. It's like the viewing numbers are mental because people were just forced to watch that because there was nothing else on. Whereas now, there's no point in putting that out. So you just put on fucking Strictly Dancing on Ice and baking cakes and stuff that's just pure shite. And there's no, they're fine with it. When the people who are making it know it's pure shite. That's it. And everyone watching it knows it's shite. That's fine. There's no point in putting out something good. Remember when you couldn't even text someone on a different network? I don't know if I remember that. I withheld getting a mobile phone for so long. I was late to the mobile phone thing. Hey, Ruben! How's it going? YouTube is for boomers. I'm afraid it is a wee bit old school. Refused to move out of the way for smartphone zombies. Yeah. And when I was in China, everybody had, I don't know what kind of phone, was it an iPhone? It was like a gold one. Every single person had it and just walked about like that, like proper, what's that film with, the one with the consume everything? Proper like that. Apart from one guy I remember seeing, and this is in China where I was the only white person I saw for a whole month. And they just said, get off your fucking phone, and his t-shirt, and he's just walking like that. And everyone else is just pure, like everybody, and it's like, what are you looking at? And I remember seeing it on the bus, on the metro, which had like more people in Scotland on this fucking one train. And everyone's just on their phone, and you're like looking at it. They're all fucking playing fucking Tetrisy games with. They're not doing anything important. They're just talking shit. Oh, my hero was Jon Pertwee. I'm a fan of. I saw Jon Pertwee live playing Doctor Who at the King's Theatre. My mum was a big Doctor Who fan. I don't know when that was, but it's Cybermen on it and all that. And David Banks, who's the head Cyberman, was actually part of the cast, but it was Jon Pertwee was the Doctor, even though at the time on TV it was Sylvester McCoy or something. Blake 7 was amazing. Every planet was the same quarry. Every big spaceship was the same factory. Yeah, so I had to go back. Not my computer till 2012. I think I was 2012 was when I got a computer as well. I've met the Felicity Kendall. She signed a poster, which is nice. It wouldn't make an open play packet. I wouldn't take an open pay packet home to her. No TV in this house. They live fucking right. No TV, is just bastards. But I mean, you're just looking up. It's just consumer shite, isn't it? Arthur C. Clarke's Mysterious World. I don't know it. Black Books met the guy Dylan Moran after showing Stockman with stand up. He said, Irish so boring, so moved to Scotland. Love it. Why not just live there? Haha, why not? There you go. I've never even seen all of Black Books. Bits of it I thought were really funny, but bits of it I didn't like. I don't know what it was about it. I never got through the whole series when I tried to watch it. I mean, again, this comes down to when these things were on. Because when I used to watch, things like Red Dwarf and all that when they were on telly, like when I was anything after 16, it would be a case of either set the video recorder to record it so you could see it because you were out, or made round at my pal's house. We're all sitting, drinking, smoking weed and all that. And it'd be like, oh, it's 9 o'clock, Red Dwarf. And we would stop and all just try and just watch half an hour on a wee 14-inch not black and white, not that old, but telly. And he would watch it and it would be like, it's dead difficult to watch drunk. Black Books is still too modern. Maybe there are some awful good bits. They're fucking ads again. Fucking right. They're getting fucking turned off. Black Books is still too modern. Father Ted, yes. Again, unfortunately, there's a lot of these things that see back in the age of. I used to work in the back shift in the co-op from when I was like, I don't know, about 17, for a couple of years. So I'd come in from work at midnight and then sit and watch telly for an hour. And that's what, if the X Games wasn't on, BMX's, nothing else. I couldn't watch the skateboarding wasn't bad, but I couldn't watch the rollerblading. It was boring as fuck. But I used to watch that, and that was the only thing that was on TV. So I'd watch the videos that I had, and then I went through a stage of buying used videos in charity shops and all that, 50 pence for the Father Ted's. But the thing is, I've watched all of them too much, and Blackadder, stuff like that, and the young ones. I've seen them too often, even though I've not seen any of these things for 20 years. Put them on, and because I've watched them 20 times, it's like I can't watch them anymore. Dylan Moran, is he? I don't know who Dylan Moran is. Oh, he's like, okay. Everything died in 1997. I can't hardly name a good TV show, film star come out since then. I kind of know what you mean. The House of Fools, Vic and Bob are always there. They're always. You had to try and find them, but basically anything with Vic and Bob in it's fucking awesome, right up to modern day. But I don't know, TV shows. Game of Thrones was good up until they just fucking destroyed it with the last couple of seasons, which were fucking terrible. Whereas if they just ended it after season 5 or whatever it was, it would still be amazing. I would have gone back and rewatched it, but now you just know there's no point because everyone just turns into dicks at the end. There is no story. Bill Bailey from Black Books. I saw him on there was a BBC show called The Live Floor Show. I saw when I was there. My pal worked in the BBC in Glasgow at the time, and the first time we went, it was the Polyphonic Spree that were playing, which I'd heard of. I remember the Polyphonic Spree. There was about 20 of them. Sort of like they looked like a mad religious cult. We went there, saw them, and Bill Bailey was on as well. So you're in a room not that big, maybe only 100 people in the audience or something like that, but there's like a big camera thing on a boom that's going about. If you stand up, it'll fucking kill you. You know what I mean? So you had to stay sitting down, and it was quite terrifying. And I remember seeing him, and he was playing. He was doing his playing Metallica on car horns, and all that shit. And it was fucking hilarious, and he was brilliant. And the Polyphonic Spree, and we're outside smoking a fag, and one of the Polyphonic Spree, a beardy guy who always stands at the back, so up here, have you got a fag? That's quite funny because we call cigarettes fags. He's up here, yeah. He's like, it's for a good cause. You fucking go. He's up here, I got one. it was a big thing. Him going up and asking somebody for a fag. He's obviously smoking a joint. Quite funny. I live in Moanmore, no idea what's trendy. Who gives a fuck what's trendy wet lettuce? If it's trendy, then I don't like it either. Just do what you want. I mean, it comes so much. I mean, talking about Jess was talking earlier on about watching YouTube. I watch so much more YouTube than I do anything else. I've kind of getting to the point of watched all of YouTube. I keep getting fucking just the last couple of days looking through stuff, and it's like I've seen all of this, and there's stuff I don't interested in. Although I sent a thing to Scott the other night. Pig racing was really fucking an entertaining 10-minute video. This guy who's got like a wee baby pigs, like 4 or 5 of them or something, and every day feeds them. At the end of this, he's got like a field and a bit of woodland in a field. So what he does is he makes like a track, just like a pallets and stuff, like fence posts, and he obviously feeds these wee pigs every day at lunchtime, and in a bowl at the other end in the field on the other side of the bit of forest, so they have to run along, and he films it, and it's fucking hilarious. Yeah, but so pig racing, and it's not cruel though, not cruel. I mean, the pigs are fucking hilarious, and they're obviously having a ball. I know they do it. Fucking my favourite bit. I mean, I laughed out loud and nearly choked. I was just watching the one episode of pig racing that I watched, and it was like, so we discovered last week that you can't pigs can't do more than a 90-degree turn, and it showed you this bit where they had like the track was coming towards them, and then it looked round and went back the way, and all the pigs just went batter right into the camera and all that. They were up just because they couldn't turn left when they're running at full throttle. I thought it was really funny. There are always good bands. There are always good bands around. You just have to try and find them. Game of Thrones was good, and yes, they ruined it last year's series. The Mighty Bush, yes, they were. I caught them just after the first series. I remember watching, I think it was the first episode of the first series, and the second series was great. And then the third series was a little bit less, and then they stopped. They're great. don't like violence. Really? It was more to it than that, though. Because you get violence that's kind of pointless, and then you get violence like RoboCop. It's almost at the point of being funny because it's so ridiculous. You know, my thing about violence is like, see, like Goodfellas and The Godfather and, you know, the mafia mob shit. I don't like that kind of violence, but Arnold Schwarzenegger on Mars sticking a spike through someone's face, all for that. That's great violence, but I don't like realistic violence. I'm not into like criminal shit. You know what I mean? Stuff that could happen. I don't mind if it's on Mars and folk are getting blown up. That's great because it's like escapism and it's funny. Oh, I like those cheese rolling videos. The Mad Masters Chase of Wheel. I've not seen any of them for ages. Yes, I know. I've seen. I remember seeing that on TV. I've never watched it on YouTube. Pig. Watch so much YouTube. Hardly see my husband. He will watch sport. Fucking sport. I don't understand sport. What's the point in that? I've never been a sport fan of any sort. I don't mind playing sport, like the fun of. I used to play rugby, stuff like that. It was all right, but the spectating sport. Apart from, as I said, we used to come back from the co-op, and I used to watch the X Games when they had the guys on BMXs. I mean, that I fucking really, you know, what's the word? Reference, not bow down. It's like you've got skill, man. You're willing to go up a fucking ramp and then spin your bike about and then come down. I mean, I've fallen off my bike before, and it's like there's a lot of bikes that can fucking stick into you. I mean, we've all had. Remember, you used to get pedals on your bike that were like serrated, like a hacksaw blade. So basically, you definitely stop at some point, and that pedal would run up your entire shin and take all the skin off like a cheese grater. That sort of thing. So I mean, I'm seeing that with folk doing BMX tricks, and then you saw it in the skateboard. The skateboard, fair enough, that's a bit different. Then you get the guys with the roller boots, and it's like really fucking boring. You're not falling on anything hard, bastards. Yeah. I missed any reply. Keep locking up, Jane. Sorry, I'm just reading what's up on the screen anyway. You all know that. If I didn't say something and it was actually funny, put it in again. Good night. Catch you later. Thanks. Cheers, Joachim. Maybe do. I think next week I'm going to do a strat week. Maybe I think I've got enough strats to do a video every night. The Blaze I might get in it. AI can suck it. I don't know. My pals show me some of the AI stuff, and it's ridiculous. It's like, the thing is that, see, now I know what the AI produced artworks look like. I can tell him immediately. He's like sitting there, happy, freaking. He's happy. I've got this AI program. He's doing it for. He basically does his own music on, I don't know, YouTube, SoundCloud, something like that. Producing these songs. He's got a wee bit of a follower. I don't really like the music, but I mean, not because it's just not my kind of music. And he's like, oh, it's like just all these pictures. Like, just say something. I was like, a fucking orange penguin in Mars, and it shows you an orange penguin in Mars. It's like, oh, it's quite impressive. But then when you see other things, it's kind of that same thing. It's not art. You can tell it's not real. The most boring sport to watch is tennis. You must have a brain the size of a hazelnut if you can sit and watch that. Everyone in fucking Britain, well, I don't know, used to watch Wimbledon. I'd fucking obviously never fucking interested. Remember Boris Becker? I remember having Boris Becker trainers because he was the main guy, but no, it's hideously bad. Cricket. No, I'm sorry. Yeah. But Alex, you're Scottish, and I don't understand cricket at all. Why you would what? Playing again, it's one of those games that I can see playing it. We used to call it rounders, but basically, I kind of get the playing aspect, but why would you watch it? A wee bit with football as well. It's like, yeah, I mean, I can have the fun playing football. I was never shit at football, surprisingly. I wasn't into it, but I was never, when you used to pick teams, I was never near the last. I was always getting the top half. Just fuck it. The thing used to get me about football was that I was never really at the top half. It's even when we were playing any other sports in PE, I was always fucking one of the first ones because I could play all the other ones. Fucking volleyball and basketball. I was good at all of them, even though I never did any fucking practice ever. Fuck it, just turn up, wing it. It was the same with football. I just am fucking interested in watching it. Catch you later, Ian. I'm not going to be up much longer anyway. I've nearly finished my bucky. Yeah. Catch you later. What's everyone going to bed for? Was that because I've not been drinking my Bucky fast enough? We'll send photos of my blue one. Yeah, do that. Once I replaced the tone, its original back blast, got all saved, used since 1984. Wow, I've actually got the original knobs for my Blazer, but or ones that are from a Blazer. I've just not put them on it because I don't think they look right. Men's tennis is okay, but women's tennis is brutal. Yeah, well, I have to admit that I used to watch it a wee bit because it was a wee bit. Basically, it was a little bit porny back in the 80s and stuff like that when it was like the girls with wee short skirts and their pants. Yeah, I don't know. Nah, back at tennis doesn't interest me. But catch you all later. Still here, high as fuck. Good. I reckon that's what you're here for, Mr. Whitesnake. That's why we love you. I do need to do another video so I can comment on it, and I'll just try and not put as many swear words in it next time. It was fucking great. I spent 5 minutes after, like, obviously you have to be steaming to do these things, but I can't remember which video it was. I commented on one of the ones in the West Tone Thunder, and it was like pure. I was fucking brutal, big paragraph, just with so many swear words in it. But I mean, obviously YouTube's just gone. Not even going to send you that for approval. That's just hate posting. But like proper fucking awesome. So do another, Mr. Whiteside, do another video, and I'll start putting the most horrendous things on just for a laugh. But you think you will have to go into the folder that says potentially inappropriate subject because it's me. It's funny. Off a gadget again, nicotine and caffeine. Lovely. I'm kind of on nicotine and caffeine right now. It's like that's where Bucky gets round. It's like you can stay on the caffeine and the booze. But no, tennis. This reminds me, I was telling someone about this about one of my favourite ever toilet jokes. In fact, I know I had a good joke the other day. It was actually Scott told me. He was watching or listening to the radio when he was a kid on Radio Clyde. And it was, I think he said he was in the car with his dad, and some wee boy phoned up. He was up here to the radio DJ. Was like, what kind of vegetables makes your eyes water? And the host is like, well, it's an onion, isn't it? Makes your eyes water. And the wee boy's like, up here, no, a turnip. And he's like, up here, well, turnip doesn't make your eyes water. He's like, up here, oh, have you ever been hit in the balls with a turnip? And then hung up. And I thought that's a fucking great joke. It's exactly what I like. Any riffs? I don't know. I could play some riffs. What riffs do you fancy? I'm drunk now, so the only way of really playing the guitar is if you're going to drink and play the guitar, you have to start playing the guitar first and continue playing it while you're drinking. Just now, I'm just going to be an absolute rabble. Riffs. There's a riff. So someone's got to tell me what that was before I play another one, and I'll try and play something else. Got to make a video just for that. Keep them coming. No tarp intended. Just cover yourself in a tarp. It's like just have your tarp in the background, Mr. White, and don't mention what it is, and people will know and go, "You creepy bastard!" Fucking with your guitar, fucking your Japanese guitar tarp. You know what I mean? That's what it's for, isn't it? You say, "Oh, Roadster, here, get the tarp out." Hey Ian, have you ever played an Encore vintage standard? It was a lost leader made of expensive parts. Encores that are lost to try and improve the brand image. See if you can find one. I don't know a vintage. Well, vintage. The actual brand vintage are Encore, or their GHS. They owned Encore, but Encore are fucking good. I mean, they did do some cheap guitars, but they're not like a Harley. They actually play. It's just that you're buying it. If you're paying 50 quid for a guitar at Argos, you're not expecting it to be pure amazing, but it's fucking. You can tune it up, and it's enough for you to play. It's not like an unplayable thing, which you can buy guitars that no matter what you do to it will never work. Encores are always. They're never absolute shit. And I've actually got a couple of Andy thing that are absolute shit, but they've been sitting in a garage for 40 years, so it's like you're getting rained on. So that's acceptable, you know. It's like, I thought you said all Japanese guitars were good. Well, pretty much. I was like, what about this one here? Fucking this one's been out in the rain for 30 years and it's been hit with a hammer and it's crap. And you're like, well, been out in the rain for 30 years. It's not really. Oh. No, Encore are on my. I've got an Encore Blaster bass and an Encore Coaster bass that were kind of like the thing you're talking about. But I think what they did was the Encore Vintage series kind of failed, and then they just made Vintage series instead and got rid of the Encore. Missed out on a bad listed BC Rich Les Paul copy. It was cooking, went for 57 quid. You're cooking. You're making crystal meth, aye. Yeah. I don't know if you did you get BC Rich. I don't know. I don't know if I don't think you got BC Rich Les Paul, so it's probably more likely it's a BC Rich neck on a Les Paul body, probably, but I don't know for sure. BC Rich are funny. Some of them are really good and some of them are really shit. And it's not necessarily the ones that you think are going to be really good, and the ones that you think are going to be really shit are really shit. It's like I've never really come across one that was pure terrible, although there was one called a rave series which looked fucking amazing. It was a lime green Warlock, and it had a super amazing pointy headstock on it. But I mean, I was looking at it and it really was crap. It was like a Marlin Sidewinder. You know, the bridge, you can imagine if you just tried to pull it off, you could literally just pull the bridge off the guitar. It would just turn to dust. That kind of thing, where it's like, you're right. And the body was MDF, I think. You know, it's like, it's ridiculous. Was it White Snake? Fuck's sake, it was Burn Deep Purple. My God, you had no class. One with body, Mighty Mike Nick Donnelly's pickups. No, but I did have one of the one you're talking about. It didn't have a Warm with Body or Mighty Mike Neck. That's someone talking shit. I had an Encore and it had Donnelly's pickups. It had a Wilkinson, like this is fucking an old Wilkinson bridge on it, and a Mother of Toilet seat scratch plate on it. I bought it for a tenner in Auchinloch. That was like that's the one you're talking about. I don't know, it was called a Vintage series, but yes. I think the Warm with Body and all that wasn't true. It was really fucking heavy, but it looked like it. You know, it was like fancy shit, and it's just like that whole thing. It was like, oh, we'll try and make a more expensive guitar, and people just remember, oh, Encore, those are the guitars you can buy in Argos for 50 quid. Yeah, they were, but you look at the two guitars and they're not the same. But there's no, you can't sell an expensive one because, you know, 95% of the guitars they sold are the cheapest ones they can sell. Mushroom sauce, some T-Rex. Is I'm your tired 20th century boy. When it's time to retire, I wanna be in your body. Friends say it's fine, friends say it's good. Everybody said it's just like Robin Hood. Yeah, no, it's like friends out, let it all hang out. And lots of Rolls Royce, cause it's good for my voice. But you won't throw the children. I don't know how you play that song, but that was always my favourite one. I got a T-Rex. It was a greatest hits tape called Teenage Dream, and it was fucking banging. So I like them totally. T-Rex are good. New Encores are shite, funny headstocks and light bodies, possibly, yeah. Well, I don't know, the one I sold, that one, remember the Basking Shark one? Jen actually saved 20 quid sending that to America because it weighed so fucking little, but it was a decent guitar. It was good. It was really light and crap, but it's one of those ones you go, this shouldn't work, but it does, man. It does. What does the wee switch do? It's a dual coil split. It just splits them both into single coils. I didn't fit it. It was already standard. It does have the Wilkinson bridge, but it does have a Warmoth body and a Mighty Mike neck. Wow. That must have been a fucking experiment. I wonder. I don't know what I ever did with that. It was a really heavy body. Mine was. It was the Wilkinson Bridge. It's got like this. I fell out with my pal over this. It's got like 2 blocks of 3 saddles that are adjustable, but they're actually fixed. That's the Wilkinson Bridge that was on the one I've got, because I'm pretty sure it's the same guitar. That was the one where I was. My pal was up here. I was stripping it down, so I was taking the lace sensor to put it in something else. I was like, I think it's a Buckycaster, that guitar, to be honest. Because up here, that bridge is pure amazing. It's up here, here you go, you can have it. Because I assumed he had a guitar that really needed that bridge. I said, of course, you're my pal. You know I paid a tenner for the guitar. There you go. Just have the bridge, put it on your guitar. Great. I'm looking forward to see which guitar you put it on. And then on Friday, it was like you're looking up eBay. There you go, bridge, 30 quid. You're like, and you're all right. You're all right with that, really? Really? That's okay? Is it? It's like, I just give you fucking bridge, and you just go, I'll have that. I can put that on eBay and get 30 quid for it. Fucking arsehole. Yeah. So I'm fed up with that shit. But that was one of the reasons I hated Oasis so much. But even before, because that was their first song, and it was like was the riff. It's basically the riff with bland for the rest of it, but it's got that riff in it, and that's what they did with all things. That song sounds like a Beatles song. How come you don't like it then if you like the Beatles song? Because the Beatles song was the whole song. It wasn't that wee hooky bit played twice and then in with a strum, a strummy strum. Never a rhythm, never a beat, never anything. Just chewing gum, bastards. What do you my CB Sky? We're worth more than the £20 of paper at CB Sky. Pretty bad. When Low came into my record store, he bought T-Rex and Slade. He bought T-Rex and Slade in America. Yeah, but it's the thing is, it's to not understand the music to start with. Because the thing about Slade is, I mean, I've heard that, like, oh, Oasis are just like Slade. No, they're fucking not. Slade are really fucking good. As in, like, when you listen to them, it's like, say when you listen to some music and you hear it and you go, oh, I quite like that. And then the second time through, you listen to it and you maybe listen to what the drums are doing or something. You know, it's like, why do I like this? Or maybe I like this. Why? And it's like the drums and the bass and the guitar riffs and the breaks are all fucking amazing in Slade. Oasis doesn't have any of those things. That's why I'll listen to it a second time and maybe it's a song. I've kind of heard this song twice now. I'll stop listening to the main melody and see what the rest of the band's doing. They're never doing anything in Oasis. They're just not there. It's like, all right, they're all just strum. All of them. Drum, a drummy drum, bass, a bassy bass. Another guitar, strum, and then the vocal line, you're like, right? Or there's some things, there's an awful lot. Catch you later, Ian. Everyone's going to bed tonight. I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to go to bed soon. Do your guitar player get his bridge pickup sorted out? I'm not sure. I need to talk to him. It was annoying. That video that I put up at the end of last week's. Then I got a message from Craig, the guitarist, going, if I ever play the guitar like that ever again, I'm just going to give up. I think maybe just part of that, because he was kind of center stage. He was absolutely disgusted with himself, the amount of mistakes he made and all that, which, to be honest, it sounded terrible. I mean, on stage, that gig sounded fucking rank. It was terrible, but we just soldiered on. And it's like we all played really badly, but not really badly. If I didn't know the band and I was just going to see them, it'd be fucking good. You know what I mean? We got to get plenty of compliments from folk I didn't know after it, going, "Ah, you fucking pure nailing the Sabbath." You know, it's like, yeah, totally. But we're much better than we were at that gig. That was like the pure worst. It's like, you know, how well can you play the guitar, right? How well can you play it if I just constantly hit you in the face with a fish? You know what I mean? It's like, I can still fucking play it. I'm going to do it, but you're just constantly getting slapped in the face with a fish. Makes it harder. It was kind of like that sort of thing where we can do it. You know what I mean? It's like we can do it. No, what's it? Encore SG? It's in Facebook Market. Some of the Encore SGs are fine, although I had one that looked fucking amazing, but the neck was twisted. So make sure the neck's not twisted. The lettering on your ab. Why is Master of Reality such a great album cover? It's shit. Yeah, I agree. Well, the thing is about we were talking about the Master of Reality. That's not what that's what the reprint and the CD looks like. The original fucking record, which is through next door, fuck it, is it says Black Sabbath in black with an outline on it, and then it says Master of Reality in black. So basically, you look at it, it is black, and you hold it so the light hit off us, and you go, "Oh no, it's got writing on it. It says Master of Reality." Well, but it's like black. It might have the purple, but definitely it's not purple and grey. But is it what a fucking album? We played a fair whack of that. Noddy's voice is fucking great. I mean, Slade are brilliant. So one of you Americans was talking about this last night. Sorry, that sounds derogatory. One of you folk from the other side of the pond talks. I get it when they did Run Run Runaway when Slade were well gone for over here by then, because I think that Christmas song ruined it, or the fact that Dave Super Yup Hill is the uncoolest person in the universe, which I now appreciate and like. But Slade are fucking really good. Person Seat says the zombie apocalypse. Strum, strummy, strummy, strum, strum. That's how you do it. Doesn't matter what chords you play. Basically, just Aldi said the middle of Luddle. The black basic one. I know the one you mean. Is that the one that's got it's like a? I found out there's two versions of it. There's one. It's got a bridge pickup alone. That one's not too bad, but the other one, it's only got one pickup, but it's in the middle. And he's just like, no, that's not cool at all, having only one pickup in the middle. Although, technically, that's probably the best place to put it if you've only got one. But, those guitars are not fucking shit. They're better than a Harley Benton, basically. But, yeah. Johnny Marr, I don't know. I did enjoy John Squire from the Stone Roses, because I saw the Stone Roses girls I was hanging about with when I was still at school that stayed outside the bars all night. I think I dropped them off actually. Brought them food. They were like, "Oh, to wait outside." You used to have to queue up for tickets, and I got a ticket to go and see the Stone Roses on their first tour, and however many on the second album tour, and the guitarist was fucking amazing. He didn't even seem to be playing very much along with the rest of the band. It was basically, right, go band, and then he was just play lead guitar, more lead guitar, and it was just like lead guitar the whole time. Quite enjoyed that. The opening riff to What a Difference does make it epic. I don't know what difference is. Johnny Marr, I've never heard a Johnny Marr or a Smith sings that I liked. But again, jangly, yeah. UK didn't go through that. I didn't go through what? I think I missed it. Wetlisted the first LP of the Smiths, maybe. 6 elastic bands over a shoebox is better than Harley Benton. Well, yeah, no, it's one of those things that I still think it comes down. I need to try another cheapo Harley Benton. Like the first one I ever played, the guy apologized when he handed it to me. He wanted me to fit he bought like a hot rail for £12 off eBay. Let me fit it in the bridge. I was like, you fit a hot rail to this guitar? I'm sorry, it's only a Harley Benton. I was like, I've never heard of Harley Benton. It was a Telecaster. And I was like, yeah, it was pretty shit, but it was all right. It was a fucking telly, and it was like, did a wee bit of work on it to make it work. Swapped his pickup. I was like, that's fucking fine. And he's like, yeah, that was only £69 delivered. Like, wow, really? That's fucking amazing, just for a pure cheapy telly. But yeah, no, not that anymore. But I mean, there's the other ones. That one I had was fucking 400 quid or something like that. It was fucking gash. It was nothing. It was nothing compared to this. There isn't a Harley Benton ever made. I mean, you get one that looks better in a spec. This is built properly. It's great. This fight. Put this up against fucking anything, really. George Squire's great. I actually saw him the time I went to when I decided I was never going to go to T in the Park ever again because I'm not normal. The first time we were up in Kinross, and it was the Seahorses. You know where I'm going. They were kind of alright. There was a few wee sort of sneaky Britpop numbers that were better than everyone else. Cast had some songs that were like, it was kind of like Oasis, so stupid people could go, oh, it's kind of like Oasis, but we actually listened to it. Oh no, there actually are guitar riffs and there is bass in it and there's drums are doing something. And the Seahorses were a bit like that as well, where it's like, oh, they're sneakily putting it under. Absolutely, another fucking advert. Skip. It made a difference, and Supergrass were the same. There were a few Britpop bands, but there were also tons that were just crap. Oh. Got the bridge pickup and on the neck. Oh, it's amazing. listen to what difference does it make with the Smiths. I'll give it a shot. I mean, I don't know anything. I think Morrissey is very much a pure arsehole, but I don't know. Again. See, what's that band? Fucking the Smiths is not a great sounding name, right? I'll admit. I mean, regardless, right? Baby Metal's are really bad. Let's go for what's really good band names and really bad band names. Doesn't matter what they sound like. A good name. Black Sabbath, I'm going for. That's a good name for a band. Led Zeppelin, that's a good name for a band. Baby Metal, it's a sort of mistranslation, so it's not a good name for a band. J-Pax keeps going on about the Water Boys. The Water Boys is not a good name for a band. They sound pish. You know what I mean? Whatever they sound like or whatever music they play, the name sounds pish. The Water Boys, they sound shite. What's good? Yeah. You were at the front for the Seahorses show at that Taylor Park. Well, there you go. I was at the back. Wearing it was hey Thomas, how's it going? I had a great idea. I thought it was going to be pissing down, so I took my worky jacket, you know, like a high vis jacket I was using on building sites because it was meant to be pissing down. So I was wearing that and see the number of people that asked me where the toilet was because they just assumed I was one of the fucking festival staff. It didn't really bother me. I was like, "Happy, it's over there, man." You know what I mean? But I was sitting there drinking. In fact, I wasn't drinking because I drove up. But yeah, I was smoking a joint. You know, and it's like, fuck, happy. Yeah, I'm working. I don't work here. I just wore this jacket. I wore this jacket because I heard it was going to be pissing it down. Yeah. That Tree Park was terrible. I'd never really saw. Robbie Williams was all right. I can't remember. Travis, they were fucking awful. Actually, I know them from school. I've talked to them several times. Like when I was still at school, I didn't know they were in a band. Whatever whatever it was a year above me at Lindsay Academy. Soup Dragons, that's a good name. They covered the Stones. I'm free to do whatever I want. Nope, that's fucking Oasis. Whatever I'm free is. Morrissey's a prick, but he's the best lyricist. There you go. Del Amitri, don't know them. The worst band name was Glass Tiger. I don't know. I would go and see Glass Tiger. Glass Tiger don't sound like the Water fucking Boys. System of a Down. I didn't know System of a Down because I thought they sound fucking awful, but their music fucking great. They're Mesmerizing, Hypnotizing, fucking great albums. They were my favorite band from basically since I started listening to music. System of a Down were my favorite band that had ever been since I started listening to music, whenever that was, mid-90s, the best band ever until Baby Metal came out who are better. And that's basically my favorite band that's been in my lifetime sort of thing. Obviously, I'm not going to put them up against, you know, Sabbath, but they were fucking well before that. Del Amitri, Unpretentious Pop. The Bonzo Dog Doodah Band. Yeah, I know Del Amitri, yeah. I didn't. They had a song. I remember they had a song in the charts, which I quite liked, but he was in a pram like a baby. But me and my pals, before I'd met my group of pals at the time, in fact, folk I still know now, we were kind of separate groups of pals, and we both bought tickets for the Stones 6 months in advance. And I'd bought the ones for me, our group had bought the ones for Wembley, and they'd bought the ones for Sheffield, which was the week before. But in that middle group, we all went together to see Page and Plant. And they saw Del Amitri as the support band, and we saw the Black Crowes. Pink Floyd is not really fine. It's a wee bit strange. Hey, Dean, once I had a Del Amitri in my house the other day. Never listened to them, but they were from my neck of the woods. Yeah, they are totally. Aldo Nova, don't know. Motorhead is quite a good name. Best Nirvana tribute again was your Nana. I'll give you that. But the best tribute band I think I've heard. No, there's quite a lot of quite good ones, but there was a Cult. I think they're a Scottish band as well. The Cult tribute band, looking for a drummer or something like that in the studio, and their name was the Kilt because it was the Scottish one. I quite like the Kilt. Yeah, Urban Spaceman. Aye, okay, yeah, the Bonzo. I don't know, the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band. It's like, what's that song? The one that's exactly the same as the Oasis song, because when Noel Gallagher obviously bought that because they're to do with the Ruttles and stuff like that. There is one that is like pure free to be an idiot. Whatever I say when you bet the blues if I can. Like totally fucking exactly the same, apart from it's got strumming in it. It doesn't go strum, strum, my strummy strum, 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 my strummy strum, but it's just like total just take that bit. Free beer hours, yeah. Plus guests, Chaz and Dave, straight at the point with the name. That's quite. Yes, I do quite like. They're quite funny. Red Hot Chili Pipers. That's good. Yes. Yeah. Kathleen Turner Overdrive. It's awesome. Yeah, no, love it. It's a good name for a band. I'm sure there must be a Facebook site that tells you all the good names for tribute bands. I don't think After the End's a particularly funny one. It's all right. If it wasn't in the logo of Black Sabbath, you would know idea we were playing Black Sabbath songs. But the Kathleen Turner Overdrive, that's good. The Cult are English, are they? Is the singer not Scottish? Maybe he's not. I don't know. North England, then, if he's not Scottish. That's when I saw him playing with the Doors, as I said. Like, Glasgow, Bucky! It was like, he didn't sound English. I think I'm maybe think I think I might be thinking of the Almighty, actually. I don't know who they are either. Oh, the Black Crowes. Black Crowes were at one point the band I'd seen most. I saw them like 4 times because they supported Page and Plant, and they supported the Stones, and then I saw them at the Barras, and then I saw them at fucking T in the Park or something like that, all within like 2 years. So the Black Crowes, I'd seen them 4 times in the first 2 years of me doing gigs, and I've only been to 10 gigs, and 4 of them had the Black Crowes at it. Wet Legs. There was a Justin Hawkins from the Darkness. In fact, anyone want to buy a Darkness pick? 2 Darkness picks. I saw someone sell one for 20 quid the other day. But I mean, these are actually ones that I got flung from the Darkness when I saw them at Hard Rock Hell. That one I didn't catch. Fucking came right towards me, right? I didn't catch it. The Justin's one, and the grey one's just one from Dan, which I did catch. But when that one came in, I was like, no, wait, it's fucking coming right at me. Couldn't find it. I was looking about, and it was my pal, his husband. We're not that open-minded. His brother-in-law, his son was there with us at 20 or something like that. So that fucking bastard missed that guy. He was like, guys like that. It basically stuck to my neck, that the Justin one. So that's where I got that. The Cashinos, not a tribute. I don't like tribute bands either. I've never seen one I liked apart from the one I'm in. Oh. Asbury stayed here for a good portion up here in Scotland. Possibly. He sounded like he was from fucking Glasgow. He was fucking hilarious. North Central England. The thing is, there's not that much. When you go down to these places, like I've been down to like Rotherham and Liverpool and Newcastle and all these places, they're like here. They're more like here than they're like London. And saying that, even when I go to Leicester, it's kind of more like here than it is like London. It's like, I think the divide where it becomes the North is like London, bang, line, the North, Birmingham, Manchester, Liverpool, Scotland, fuck's sake, you're far north, and then another bit, and then there's a fucking wall. They're like, don't go there. More in Merseyside, there you go. But Merseyside, as I said, Merseyside's not far away from here. Oh, it's only like a couple of hours in the train, and everybody in Liverpool's like us. It's very, very, very obviously. I think it's, I don't know. I suppose it's racist. Do you know what I mean? It's like if you meet someone else, same with Welsh when I'm down at Download, and it's obviously it's a big smothering of all over the UK, and it's like you talk to a Welsh guy, I'm immediately, hey, how's it going? And they're like, yeah, fucking big hugging on it but neither of us are English, which is wrong, but you kind of get it. Christopher Lee did have, he did Charlemagne with Richie Faulkner, who after that joined Judas Priest and wrote Firepower and all that. You got a sealed first pressing of The Darkness, Permission to Land, 12-inch, bought it, never played it. I have a never played version of that. Me and my pal, they were playing at Virgin Megastores on Buchanan Street in Glasgow. And me and my pal went, and pal Peg, who actually saw that gig. If you're on, cheers for coming to that gig. Carried one of my basses home with me. We went in and they played, I don't know, maybe half an hour, something like that. And like there's a stairwell with like an escalator and shit. They were kind of playing in the middle. It was pretty mental. And then we were sitting there, we were waiting in the queue, and the queue wasn't really that long. We're like, all right, to get our shit signed. And I'd taken an AC/DC Big Gun, the 12-inch single, and I had the CD of the album, and we're obviously fans. We saw them at Glastonbury earlier in the year and stuff like that. I had a couple of singles and stuff, but I had this record, and it was like, fuck it, you want to go for a joint? So we went out, had a joint, and then on the way back in, Peg went in the queue, and it was like, we were now at the back of the queue. It was like, bastard. So we had to wait half an hour, and I went upstairs and bought the records. That shows you it's a 12-inch version of the record. So basically, I opened it in front of the darkness and got him to sign the inside of that, and then closed it, and it's never been opened since. And I got my AC/DC Big Gun 12-inch single. I was like, up here, oh, you guys, so up here, can you sign this AC/DC record? It was Justin. He's like, up here, yeah, why? Up here, you know the guys that rock as much as AC/DC. And he's like, up here, oh my god, that's so embarrassing for you. It's like, Dan, like, did you fucking say that again? I was like, no, I'm not saying that again. So he said, fucking, we're the only guys that rock as much as AC/DC these days. And he's like, oh, Big Gun, that's up your eye. And then on the bottom of the Big Gun cover, it's got like the New York skyline, like 1991 version with the two towers on it. So they all signed the front of that, and then Ed, the drummer, put a target on the two towers and then signed it Ed with a love heart. So that might be worth money. When I ever guess I'm going to be that man that is Ash Haverin next to you, when I wake up, yeah, the Proclaimers are all right. They're quite funny. Rip to Scotland's other super spy, David McCallum. Yeah, Ilya Kuryakin. Yeah, he died last week. He was from Lindsay, apparently, or lived in Lindsay for a bit. Christopher Lee's a legend. I was hearing Jeff about the Bay City Rollers, and it's like pure. Jen knows someone who used to work with them, and it's like pure. There's more to it than that. There's like pure. It's not a story I want to tell someone who's a fan. Stiff Little Fingers. They're the band, are they? Portobello. Is that where? I thought the Proclaimers were from Leith. Portobello was where I bought. Oh shit! I sold it. No, it was a place called Presponens, which is just past Portobello in Edinburgh. I bought. In fact, I've got a Telecaster thin line kicking about, which was a badly built kit, which I've never bothered my arse to actually fix properly. I bought it in Portobello. Barbed Wire Love, Suspect Device, Johnny Was. Hanks. Oh. What is Havering? Havering's just talking pish. What I'm basically, that's you're signed up for 3 hours of havering, basically. Yeah. I don't know if you have to be drunk. I think you could just talk pish. That's why there was a great meme when I first joined Facebook, and it showed you like a map of Europe, and it had just what are the Proclaimers willing to do. And it showed you like starting from Leith, it was like 500 miles. It showed you like a ring of how far they were willing to walk 500 miles, and then it was like an outside ring which was 500 more, which kind of got you fucking way down, way into France and Holland and all that shit. But yeah, I quite like that. Ain't no surf in Portobello. Really? David McCallum lived at the top of Byres Road and born in Maryhill. Yeah, but he definitely lived in, or his family lived in, it's definitely something to do with, he went to Lindsay Academy, something like that, probably, maybe. I'm not going from anything. I've not looked up the internet for this. This is from when I was a kid. Charlie Don't Surf. Yes. I need to watch that film again, actually. That was one of the films that I had on DVD. It was on the Channel 4 band season that was on, and it was that and Life of Brian was on it. But I taped that, and obviously the Doors and shit in it. Music was fucking great. The Valves. Portobello had my fifth at the trampoline centre there. Wow. Sounds like fun. I never got to go on a or like a proper bouncy castle thing. I remember getting a shot on bouncy castles and trampolines and shit for 5 minutes or whatever it was when you bought tickets at, fair. I never fucking got an actual proper party. I always heard about it. I remember a wee girl at school. I don't know, must have been about fucking 5. They'd done a sponsored 5 hours on a bouncy castle, and it was up here. It was really difficult up here getting sick. Up here. Bastard! 5 hours on a bouncy castle sounds amazing, and it still sticks with me today, 40 odd years later. Never done it. Carly Don't Surf, the Clash song taken from the film. I don't really know the Clash much either. Portobello mushrooms are a sore point. They cause people to miss guitars on eBay. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Trampoline center cakes and cartoons. Yeah. Don't know. Sounds amazing. I've never been on a bouncy castle or a trampoline where I was allowed to be long enough to get anything like bored of it. Oh. It was the adults in the ball pit finding lots of coins. That's the thing. I suppose when you go to one of these parties, it's like pure sit, watch the kids for the afternoon, drinking, and then come 6 o'clock, get the kids out the ball pit. Right, here we go. Fucking yes. I've never been in a ball pit, but it'll be fucking hilarious, and I'll be really, really embarrassing to whoever's with me at that ball pit. Because I've never been in one, and I think it'll be fucking hilarious. Basically, it's going to be 20 seconds of absolute chaos, and then, oh my god, I'm so exhausted. Jumping up, down, just enjoying and flinging myself on the ground twice was enough to absolutely knacker me because I'm so fucking unfit. Oh. Hendrix tribute. Randy Hansen Hendrix tribute played a few tunes in Apocalypse Now soundtrack. There might be, and Vomit Legs. Charlie reminds me of Poontang. Shades of Nam come to mind. I used to have a great jumper, Mr. White. You know, I liked it. It was like the map of Vietnam, and it just said at the top, Vietnam. When I left, we were winning. I remember that was my favourite jumper for ages. I think I've still got it, but it's all fucked. But I'll still wear it. My mild mushroom sauce. Better hit the sack. Work tomorrow. Bye, chaps. Catch you later. This is going to be an early ending because I've been tanning into this bottle of bucket like nothing else. I don't know. Hendrix cost too much money to use. Possibly there was he made it onto the Easy Rider soundtrack because Easy Rider got the first CD I ever bought. Easy Rider soundtrack. Hence why I can play all of it. It was the band that couldn't get on that, but Easy Rider was the first film that had like pop music in it. Obviously, Hard Day's Night, fuck off, that's a Beatles film. You know, but I mean, that was the first one to have this whole idea, and it was literally just a case of going and asking the people, and it came through, but there was a problem with the band. The record companies noticed, so the actual version of The Weight is on the CD or on the record isn't by the band. It's much better by a band called Smith, not the Smiths, although that would be interesting. But mental. Oh, it's electric to play Easy Rider soundtrack. They were all friends with the musicians. I think there was something to do with that. Yeah, Smith. Yeah, that was partly to do with it, but it was fucking awesome. But I think that was the kind of thing. I mean, it had Hendrix on it, it had 619 on it and stuff. But that was the first one to have that because that was with a Y. Was it? Not sure because I would have pronounced that Smythe. Stop havering. What, you want me to just quit YouTube altogether, Mr. Whitesnake? If Malco don't haver, Malco has no content. I don't like using the word content either. No, but that soundtrack was one of the first. The soundtrack that was the first that I bought a CD player. I bought that and I bought 20 quid. I bought a CD player of Scott Marr. His name was, and it had a Hawkwind CD in it. Because at the time he was told that you shouldn't transport a CD player without a CD in it. So I had a Hawkwind CD for a week until he asked for it back. But in that first week I went in, I bought Deep Purple, the Anthology double CD and the Easy Rider soundtrack. And so those were the only two CDs. Well, the first week I had 3 CDs. I had that Hawkwind, which had Hashish, 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 Hashish. In fact, I could probably still play it. And I've never heard the song since I had that CD. Hashish, 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 hashish. I did copy that onto tape, obviously, when I had it, but I've never heard that. I've never found the record with that on it. It was called Nighthawks, Terrorhawks, Hawks. It had like a airbrush picture of a sort of hawk, part Boeing 747 coming into land. Never seen it since then. Content. Hasab and Asaba. Yeah, I don't know. It's not just called. I think the song's called Assassins of Allah, but I never wanted to see that on YouTube or type that in because that might take you to places you don't want to go. Easy with the first contemporary pop used American Graffiti first to use older pop songs. Possibly. I've never got my way all the way through American Graffiti before. I've tried to watch it and it was pish. I don't remember anything about it, but I hated it. I thought it was pish. No, but Easy Rider. That was near the start for me. But it was great because it was like I know MTV existed, but nobody had MTV, so we couldn't sit and do the Beavis and Butthead thing. We did it with shit that was taped off the telly. Easy Rider, Pink Floyd, Pompeii, that sort of thing, which kind of became basically like a pop video, because that's what Easy Rider is. There's not that much happens in it, really. Is most of the time, a good half the film anyway, is full, well, at the time, pop songs. Toad. I don't know, but that is. Okay, whistle test. Yeah. Now, you want to look up, if you've not looked it up, look up Harry and Paul Old Grey Whistle Test, which is Paul Whitehouse, who I met, and Harry Enfield, and they were doing they do a skit on it, and it's like yeah, so we went to the BBC we're going to do a new live music show, and it's like they wanted it to be hip and fresh and exciting, and we said, yeah, we'll do a music show, but it's going to be dull. Oh my God, it's going to be dull. And they did a version of it was the Old Grey Wrinkled Testicle. It's a funny thing on YouTube, worth looking up, because it's so fucking right. With what's his face? Not Richard Harris, but something like that. Where was I up here? Yes. And now we've got Camel doing a great album from this year. 23 minutes epic. The Flight of the Snow Goose. And it's Camel. It's fucking great. But it was proper live. And I had the first time I ever saw Lynyrd Skynyrd was from that. So Lynyrd Skynyrd are one of the few bands who I always knew what they looked like. Hassan I Sabat is on Quark's Strangest and Charm. It is, yes, but that's not the version that was on Roadhawks. No. Flight of the Hawk. Night of the Hawk. It was called Night of the Hawk. The version was much heavier. The one that's on Quark, Strangest and Charm, because I bought it. I bought that thinking it was going to be that one, but it's nothing like as punky. I don't know if it was maybe a live one, because Hawkwind were still. I remember they were still going. Well, I think they're still going now, but they had a sort of punk era. Hawkwind didn't seem to be the same as Masters of the Universe, which is a greatest hits, but yeah, it's got Masters of the Universe and all the fucking the Lemmy era shit and all that on it, Search of Space and Hall on the Mountain Grill. That shit was great, but it was definitely a later on with Needle Gun. Remember Needle Gun? Needle, 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 needle gun. Ooh, 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 it's gonna make you run. Needle, needle, needle. That one. It didn't sound like that, but that I remember that being a thing. But I remember one of the first CDs I ever bought had a song called High Rise on it. But it was CDs at the time were like 16 quid, maybe a tenner for crap ones. But you go to Asda and supermarkets and they would have Hawkwind, the best and the rest of. It was called, and it was like £3 for a whole CD. And it was all right, but it had a version of a song called High Rise on it, which is fucking amazing. I think I've since bought the record of that, but High Rise is on Robot or whatever it was, whatever the album was. Actually, we were talking earlier on about Hard Rock Hell when I saw The Darkness. There was a version of Hawkwind there, and they played Robot. So I never thought in my whole life I'd ever hear that song live. Robot, robot, da 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 da. I am not a human, da 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 da. It was like pure. Fucking hell! They're playing Robot. Wow. Can I do a lightsaber mod? I do actually have a lightsaber. You can probably see it. I don't think it works anymore though with these batteries. So my mod would be putting batteries in it. I bought this in Guthrie's for £5. It's dead. When you turn it on, it's got like LEDs in the top, and it goes because I did actually wear that when I went to see The Force Awakens, and when I sat down, it went off in the cinema. it turned on, and I was pure embarrassed. I turned it back off again, and then all the way around the cinema, I just heard, I don't know, 100 people go. None of them laughed or pointed out. They just went. So it's a pure sit down. Fucking hilarious. And then immediately after there was proper because everyone was laughing at the fact the whole cinema went. Yeah. Easy Rider series to hippie community with the New Mexico. Most folk left. Rather sitting there, back to movies. Last Picture Show. Don't know the Last Picture Show. Hawkwind's a fave. Well, there you go. High Rise. That's a great, but it's got to be the live version because the one on the records is fine. Same with the Assassin or Ali Shamble, whatever it was. Do basses need higher action than guitars or different trains of thought for playing styles? Don't want to go tweaking without knowing what the goal is, Ken. Yes, perhaps, Ken. Well, I can give you that on proper super factual information because I bought string action ruler. I don't know if that's in reverse format or not, but yeah. And it actually tells you on the back the heights of the strings for different guitars. So I'll tell you exactly what it should be set to. Bass guitar, I see they've already fucked it up because you get two columns. One is 6th string and one's 1st string. So bass guitar, 6th string, what you get tons of 6-string basses, is 2 to 2.5 millimeters at the 12th fret. Is what you're aiming for. And under the thin string, it's 1.5 to 2 millimeters. On an acoustic guitar, under the 6th string, it's 2 to 2.5 as well. So you want to set it the same. I think that's kind of roughly a pound coin. If you put a pound coin in, that's kind of what you want your bass set to, or what I like it set to. And then on an electric guitar, it's 1.5 to 2 millimeters. I normally set the electric guitars to 1.5 if they can do it. Yeah. So there you go. Actual factual shit. But yes, the thing about I noticed when I was joined the Black Sabbath band, I'd set up all my basses and I knew how to do it, but I'd set them up for playing in the house. So when I went into the Black Sabbath band, I was like, oh, you've got to pure thump the strings and play really loud. When you thump the strings, all the strings fucking hit off the pickups and the necks were far too straight. So I need like a pound coin thickness of action to be able to do the bendy Black Sabbathy shit when I'm pure thumping it, because it's very, I know it doesn't sound it, but it is actually quite clever. Some Geezer Butler's bass playing where he's playing quietly and then loud. So I need to be able to absolutely fucking fuck the strings to make them sound like Sabbath. So I need more relief. I need a 2.5 mil action on the 12th fret, and I need the pickups at the point where I can absolutely thump it and the strings don't hit off the pole pieces and explode. Sutherland Brothers and Quiver. I recognise the name. Doesn't sound fantastic. Some bands you buy things from the name. Sometimes you buy band Albert Records because the name of the band was fucking terrible. I've got there's a band called Ross. I don't know why that one jumped up. I was thought maybe the worst name for a band ever. Ross. There's actually a performer. I've got the record. It's like a 60s guy, and it's just Malcolm. That's my name. It's just like a guy with like a pure Beatles haircut. Yeah. Full sized, face on a 12-inch record, so actually bigger than his real face. Yeah, it's terrible. 664s, low E5 64s. 3 to 32. Fucking, what did you millimeters? Fuck's sake. Yeah, depends how you want to do it. I'm using British coins though. Basically, talking about 12th fret. I just aim for if you get it lower than a 2, if you can get it to a 2 pence piece, that's acceptable. More that's what a decent acoustic. On a shitter electric guitar you bought off Gumtree for 20 quid and you're regretting it. If you can get it so that a 2 pence piece doesn't fit under the string, that's what generally acceptable as maybe high action, but acceptable. Any higher than that, you're fucked. But actually, if you want a proper turbo speed metal thing, if you can get it less than a 1p, this is less than a 1p. A 1p is like 1.5. You've got them sitting there just for that. But 1.5's acceptable. That's fine for a Squire or something like that. It's just when you start getting to Japanese shit. They're more another fucking. Is me skipping those ads making any difference to anyone? Is anyone getting 4 seconds of adverts and then they're stopping because I'm pressing the button? Or should I just be leaving them on? There's a question. High action help you stick the money notes. Catch you later, Kit Kats. Giovanni 316. I don't know how hard it is, Alexander, because I went to the pound shop, and if you go to the pound shop, you can buy an Imperial set and a metric set for £1 each. So just buy it. That's it. Yeah, and I've showed this so many times because it was a big moment in my life. I had all the Allen keys you need in a fucking plastic box with all the Allen keys I needed in it. So I would search through them, and it's like, oh no, just a box of Allen keys, and then I got this one from B&Q. And if you notice, they're still all there. So they're all still there, right? But so basically, I've got, if the 2.5mm one doesn't fit, it's one slightly bigger. Oh, it might be an Imperial one. So these are all Imperial and these are all metric. And it was only like £6 and I was angry about fucking buying that. But I have replaced some of them when I got ones that weren't worn out. But having an actual full Allen key set, but having it in a holder. So when you're looking through them, you're not trying ones that are bigger and smaller. You look at it and you go, that one's too small, right? So you go, that was the 2.5 I tried. So it's bigger than that. Whereas if you've just got a box of them, you just try the next one and it's like, no. So totally fucking just go mental and spend a whole £5 and buy a set that takes all the fucking Allen keys. And then once you've used them, put them back in again. They don't wear out like drill bits. Rant over. Sorry. I've got Allen keys in a ring. Yeah, but the ring's fine. I had the ring thing, but I sometimes didn't put them back on again. And then it's not, even then, it's not still that obvious. You have to count through them to get one that's thicker than the last one. Whereas that one, it's laid out really well. It doesn't matter. I'm getting demonetized anyway for smoking and drinking and talking shite. So it's fine. I'm looking forward to next week when I'll get some Telecasters on the go. Yeah. I've been looking at guitars. There's a guitar I want in Troon just now, I think. I can't decide. It's one of those ones where I'm curious about it. Not really that expensive, but it's kind of like that one. I've kind of got one. I'm complete with the holders. The smaller keys fall out, land at the bottom of the toolbox. The rings are in order and stay put. I don't have a toolbox. I've got a special guitar shelf that's basically in below the amplifier for my stereo. But yes, I definitely think there is a set, like maybe it's just a really cheap shite set that you had that did that. Oh, is that how it works, Mr. I think you're just smoking too much weed. That's the problem. Mark Kroll guitar from Denmark, Pontiac handmade, been going a long time. 60s, I think. I don't know. Sounds expensive. Actually, my pal Dave I was talking to last night. He was talking about. Have you ever heard of The Tree? It's like there is The Tree, one word, that you get. That it's some pure ridiculous type of mahogany or something that's The Tree, and it's like I haven't looked it up, but if you Google that, there's a guitar, and people buy like body blanks to make guitars out of it, and they pay like pure 20 grand for enough to make a Telecaster out of this shit or an acoustic. And it's some tree that lived on the side of a ravine, and then they had to pure excavate it, but it's some pure super rare, you're not being allowed to cut it down for 200 years type tree that accidentally fell over, and it's pure nabbed. So I need to look up that. The Tree, talking about Tonewood. That'll get. I mean, basically, I'd get your tarp out, Mr. White, for that one, because that'll be like, it's all Tonewood, and they're talking about, and the guitars that they sell that are made from it are worth like 100 grand and shit like that. Tone. Aye. I'm not buying any more guitars. I've got all the ones I need. Yeah. Being said by everybody in this chat. Sometimes you can't say no. What are you going to say no when you see a guitar and you go, oh. Lies, Alexander. Yes. No, it's lies we've all told. It's fine. We're not saying, oh, you lying bastard. We are saying, ha, you let us. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like, yeah, you can't. Having all the guitars you ever need's not true. The tree, Mr. Whitesnake. Honestly, did you look it up? The tree, honestly, I think you should maybe, I don't know, definitely like make sure you're in bed when you watch it and when you pass out so you don't fall and hurt yourself when you just with a I have gas. I know Scott. I'm feeling it. I feel it. I know you sold something and you get the money and it's sitting there and it's like, if you don't buy a guitar with that, Scott, you might end up spending it on food or something. I understand. It's like fucking no, stop. Not buying any more jackets, guitars, tools, vape mods, hoodies. I bought 2 80s bomber jackets already this weekend. Yeah. Yeah, I need to buy more clothes. I don't have any. They're all fucked. That's like, I'm just wondering about. You do need to get the tour bus back on the road, Scott. I know. You do. I know. So that you get like, but I do appreciate that for you that is more important than getting another guitar. So that's it. I mean, I totally get it. Now, whereas other things, it's like pure bills. It's like pure well, guitar's more important than bill. But I mean, yeah, totally get the van on the road, man. Yeah. So you can invite us on another super guitar safari. That much guitar, the bamboo. We had one. I see, Alexander. You still look, but that's what happens when you find the one that you can't say no to because you know what it is. That's what I'm struggling with just now. There's that guitar in tune. I know what it is. I know what it is because I've got them. I know what it is. I know what it will be when I'm finished with it. I know, but I don't want to just have it. Oh. You think I'm just going to give up the endless search of tone, the pilgrimage of all of us serious musicians here? Yeah. But the thing is, you get different tones. There is no ultimate super tone. I don't think. There's different. There's a bit of drive to tune that's put you off. Well, kinda. But I mean, it's like you got to. I was talking earlier about that Portobello thing. I went to Portobello to pick up a thin line Telecaster for 15 quid. That was a project, like a kit guitar that someone made an absolute arse of. So it's fucked. But I drove there, and basically my car, the starter motor of my car was fucked, so I had to leave the car running outside the guy's house. And I drove, and it was like that was the time when I suddenly would realize that I'm sitting there going like that. I've just fucking driven an hour and 10 minutes to pick up a £15 guitar, and it's like that £15 guitar, 5 minutes away, totally. An hour and 15 minutes away. No, don't do that. It's got to be cleverer than that. I mean, even the Tempest, which I kind of knew roughly, Vintage Horse Racing told me how much the guy wanted for it because he'd offered him money. And then when I went in, the guy offered what he told me his minimum was a tenner more than you told me, Gordon. But he's like, just have a wee shot of it. And I just went, oh my God. He's like, you can plug it in if you want. I'm like, fucking okay, plugged it in. It's fucking amazing. I had to give him whatever he asked for. So he didn't get 60 quid, he got 70 quid. I know that I could have haggled. That's what we were talking earlier on with Cats Away to Bed, but it's like that haggling thing. He bought it for fucking a tenner or something like that. But I mean, it's worth so much more than that to me. Maybe not to everyone. So I just gave him the money. I need to pay the government more money, and that pleases me. Yeah. A wee spoon. Yeah, it's like you got to remember when you say troon and spoon, it's spew. It's like got a U in it. Spoon. Yeah, a wee spoon. The troon, not troon and spoon. Spoon, it's definitely got a U. Spoon. Yeah. Drive past Troon salt coats twice a week. Well, there you go. That's a chat line in tune. Oh, you got a wee spoon. That pure. Tell you, it's not a fucking chat line spoon. I've been having to rave about this for a while. That chip shop me and Scott went to, the wee hole in the wall thing. That one, not far away from that. Like definitely in Troon. In one of my videos, I was down in Troon buying a guitar, and I rolled down the window, and I was like, "Pure, excuse me, no, is there a good chip shop here?" And the wee girl went, "No, don't know." And Pure stormed off, and I was like, "So maybe she was in a bad mood or something." But it was like, "You're right." The wee hurry, yeah. I don't think I was that far off. I think the wee something. That was that's true. Sarcasm. Can't wait to eat the bugs at the chip shop. Well, actually, the chip shop I used to work in, which is Jerry's, they got closed down for 6 months because of ants. So whenever we got chips in there, it was always like, "Do you want fish ant chips?" And that's where we went because it was the best chip shop. Where the spoons are good and the chip shops are shite. No, Stone Ranger, we went to one. Me and Scott went to one. Marco's it was called, Scott. And it was like, we drove past it. It was like, we were all fucking starving on a guitar safari. Like, you're right. There's a chip shop, and Scott's like, "There's that Marco's one. That's pure famous." It's always got a big queue outside it. There was nobody in the queue. Like that. Aye. Like, we'll go to another chip shop. We went, I don't know, half mile long. There wasn't really any ones that really stuck out. So I'll go back to that Marco's one, and there was a fucking queue, and it was amazing. I got a cheeseburger, first cheeseburger in about 20 years, man, and it was still tasted the same as the original cheeseburger. So this is like a burger that's had cheese injected into it with a syringe and then coated, battered, and deep fried. Fucking great. And it was really fucking cheap. So if you're there, there's called Marco's. It's on the main street. Like there's a bit where the main street kind of splits in two. It's on the left hand side, like about the third or fourth shop along, and like a fish supper's a £5. All the suppers are like a £5. I mean, they're fucking £8 out of Jerry's fish ant chips. It's like £8 or £9, and it's like, and this is everyone's a £5, and you can get fucking anything. It was all right, and it had a massive queue the whole time we were there. It was just running rapid. It was like, I don't know, fucking Tuesday night or something like that. Great. Try sporking. It's like spooning with a lob on. Lost. Cheeseburgers to farm food sell cheeseburgers, really? Azumi guitars. Jushin Gaki, late 70s, 80s. Possibly. Yeah. Possibly. I'm not sure. I don't know Azumi. I think, again, like so many other, like Antoria suffer from that. I don't think CSL do, but Antoria, you look up Antoria guitars on the internet, and there's some that are very obviously 70s Japanese, and then there's ones that are like from the 2000s, modern ones. And it's like they're not the same. So Antoria, the name's been bought. I think Azumi might be the same as well. I'm sure there used to be an Azumi bass you used to see that had like a 3-piece neck, but it was like maple, walnut maple, but it didn't have a fingerboard, so they actually went through it. It looked fucking great, but it had a mad looking headstock, which was like a cello or something. I think it was an Azumi or a name like that. I don't think they were good. I remember sweet and sour burgers when the centre was all sweet and sour sauce and bits of pineapple. Whoa! No! Stone Ranger, I've never heard of that. That sounds fucking awesome. I mean, I'm thinking back to when I used to get cheese and burgers. It was pure bizarre talking to Scott. And it was up there. Oh, I used to get them in Junoon. I was up there. No way. That's where I used to get them. And it was the year of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, because I think we saw that 3 times because my pal's mum fancied Harrison Ford. I used to take us to see Indiana, and it was a fucking great film anyway. In the Junoon cinema, which was like made of corrugated iron, but just across that and up the road there was where cheese and burgers came from. And it was just exactly the same as that. And Scott's like, gave him like, take a bit. That bit, I was like, totally reminds him. On it was turned out it was the same fucking chip shop he used to go to. I don't know, I'm up for these things, but I think as I was talking to Peg after the gig, me and Peg was completely steaming by the time we got off, and then I was stealing beers off the riser and giving him as well. After I get pure pissed. We used to get cheese and burgers after the studio when I was in the Blind Dug, because Jerry's Chip Shop used to do it, but you had to ask for them specifically. But they used to, we got a game that were burgers, and they came with sauce and lettuce and shit on them as well, so it wasn't quite as the full cheese and burger, which is a buttered roll, cheese and burger and chips. Oh. Oh, Dunoon. Yeah. Probably Anselmo's. I can't remember what it was called. It was opposite the cinema, but up the road a wee bit. Foxy did intro it. I need to watch it. It's pretty rare when Foxy's getting some amount of fucking Les Pauls, man. See if it was something other than a Les Paul, I would watch more of it. It's just that he must know somebody who feeds him guitars. I've got a few folk that feed me guitars. Cheers, I appreciate it. But to do videos on, but they're always Les Pauls, and if they're not Les Pauls, they're copies of Les Pauls. That'd be interesting. And I need to watch it. I did see it and haven't watched it because it was another Les Paul. We have the Yares Mexico burger here. Slice of avocado, slice of ham, slice of hot dog, and green chili salsa. Sounds good. When you're coming going to watch Star Trek movies? Star Trek movies, the one with Christopher Plummer in it, is it Star Trek 6? That's fucking brilliant. Like when you watch that, I mean, that's the one I actually saw in the cinema. And it's like, the later on, the further on you get, the less good the Star Trek films get. But Star Trek, the one with Christopher Plummer in it is fucking hilarious and amazing. Enjoy that. You'll enjoy that one. The first one's just a tough one. Horrific liquid napalm, I can imagine. No, I can imagine. That's the thing about the cheese and burger. Even though the outside of the burger can be cold, and the inside, that cheese is liquid always. I mean, it's proper. It's just, I think it's actual cheese. It's not like that shit you Americans like. When I remember used to sell it in the Co-op, it was like cheese and it showed you like this pure horrible looking watery burger on the packet, and it was like just next to the tomato sauce, and you're like, what's not even refrigerated? Don't fancy that kind of cheese. American cheese. Oh, the Undiscovered Country. It could be the Undiscovered Country. I can't. No, is the Undiscovered Country not the one? Or is it? It's the one where it's something to do with like it turns out they've got a fucking Klingon ship that fires when it's cloaked. What's the? Oh. It might be the Undiscovered Country. It could be. It's good. Wrath of Khan. It's fucking amazing. But we know that's what gets you through the first fucking one. The first one, which is just. Every time that was on the telly when I was a kid, I remember going, "Oh, there's a Star Trek the motion picture. That'd be really good." And then watch it and just going, "What the? This is." And I'm afraid it's a wee bit sexist, I know, but there's a character, and it's like she's like an Indian supermodel or something like that, and she's got head shaved because she's an alien, and everyone's pure fond of her. And I'm just like, why does everyone fancy her? She's pure bald, man. Can't fancy a bald girl. That's a wee bit different. American cheese is not cheese, mostly oil. What's wrong with Dunoon? Nothing's wrong with Dunoon. It's cool. Dunoon used to be. That's where all the Americans used to have their submarine fleet. That's the first time I ever saw a black person. It was an American GI or something, because it was. And the first time I ever saw a Dunkin' Donuts as well, because there was one on the jetty going out to the Holy Loch where there used to be a nuclear submarine base, which is just around the corner from Dunoon. So it was kind of mad when you went to Dunoon, like when I first started going in the 80s. It was only like half an hour from Mum and Dad's chalet in Lochfine. That was where the supermarket was, sort of thing. And but there was always Americans. There was tons of American influence in it, and it was like kind of a bit alive. And then I don't know when that place got taken away, and it's like I think the place just went. But I mean, I do like it. The kind of thing that I find bizarre about Dunoon is people. It's like they want to be from Glasgow, which is kind of bizarre. It's like, no, we're still Glasgow, and you're like, why do you want to still be Glasgow? You're fucking on the other side of the Clyde. It's like, yeah. No, I mean, Dunoon's lovely. It's amazing. The Hard Rock Cafe. I used to love it there. I'd have no problem with that. Folks in a wee holiday flat in Dunoon. Brilliant. No, it was full of Americans. I said the first time I saw a proper black person, like American, like up no way, look. And it was like just because it was half an hour away from the chalet. So when it was raining, it was always raining in Dunoon, but that's because we weren't fucking up the hills and shit. And I don't know. Dunoon is a lovely place to visit, perhaps not to live. Yeah, it's another one of those places we're talking about. The further up the hill you go, because you get up to the top and it's like Beirut or something like that. You know, but it's like, so the closer you are to the water, the nicer Dunoon is. When you go up the hill, you suddenly start going, oh. Greenock's really bad for that. There's a bit up the back of Greenock, which is just nuts. When I was there in Greenock, there was a lollipop man. I don't think that was a euphemism for anything. Yeah, it literally was the lollipop man, but maybe did drugs or something, or sold drugs. And basically he got his head cut off with a samurai sword, and they kicked it down the street past the site I was working on. It's like pure up the hill. And it was like that happened like a month before I was working in Dunoon. It was working in Greenock. It was like, I don't know if this is that, but white or yellow American, all varieties of American. Sounds sleazy. First time he's seen a black person, Fran Franklin is Scottish and half American. The basis for the magazine as well. Possibly, yeah, but no, I'm proper. We got like Indian folk and other brown people, but I've never really seen an actual proper black person. But I mean, that was fucking 8 or something. Yeah. Like, no, I quite like Dunoon. It's a bit one of those things where you just start thinking, whatever you do in Dunoon, because you're on the other side of a half-hour ferry, whatever you do, you've got to be at that last ferry at 11 o'clock at night or something, so you just don't have other options, and it's limiting. I got married in the Queen's Hall, and literally the only wedding that happened there because the registry office had been closed that week, needed to be on council property at the time. Last time America was 20 years ago. There you go. Wow. So you're a proper Dutch. You're proper Dutch now. Yeah. Well, I'm going to start thinking about calling it a day because I've tanned that bucket awful quickly. I'm aware that I'm havering a little bit as well. I need to have food. But thanks everyone for joining in these things. Played a big kick there. Americans left around 93. Was it 93? There you go. Yeah, so it was before that when it used to have the submarine thing, the Holy Loch dry dock thing. So I would have been 15. Oh, there you go. I know it's only 11:20, but Scott, look, there's the meter. I don't have any more booze. I do. I've actually got some. Okay, I'll remind you of last night with fucking J-Packs. I'll have some Casiaro black spiced flavour with rum, which is probably a really expensive rum, but there's that much in the bottom of it. I'll have a wee drink of that. Oh. At least the thing about sometimes when you take a drink of these sort of things, it's like it is like a hit. I get it. You know what I mean? It's like maybe if I've never, you know, you get people having brandy like in old films when they're cold. That sort of thing. It is a pure. I can feel that just basically just going through me, like just pure warm. Pure, that sounds dangerous though. Rum and bucket. Well, it's only one sip of bucket, one sip of rum and a bottle of bucket. It's more the fact that I haven't really ever done to eat today that's going to be the main problem. Yes, during Maduri, I've had Maduri before when Co-op I worked in they seriously reduced their wines and spirits section. We're selling off crap, and I went in and spent 20 quid and got fucking blue balls and Maduri and all these things. And then for a couple of weeks, it was like pure people come around the house. You want a wee drink? And it would be like a fucking whiskey and Maduri and all that shit. And then I just drank it all. And it was gone. I'm sure. I don't know. Maybe it is. It's just green. That and balls. I was talking about balls the other night, actually. BOLS. It was obviously a joke in Hello Hello, which was terrible, but there you go. Anyhow, it was only 20 past, but fuck it, I need the toilet and I've got no booze left and I can't dry. It's tonic water, pure horrible is tonic water. Creme de menthe. Yeah. Anyhow, hi. Give me a shout for any guitars you want to see during the week, but I think it must make the guitar thing. People are sorry. My grandfather was a stoker on the Waverley. He got the sack of Dunoon because he was pissed. We go there for free, no tickets. Started down the road. It's a long walk to Greenock. Yes. Aye. Ginger ale, not ginger beer. I don't even know. I don't know what we're fucking talking about. I think I'm too pissed to be doing this. That's why I've got the 1 bucky bottle limit, even though I did drink it too much. What the liquid polar mints? I don't know. You're all fucking mental. Love you all. And if you haven't spiked a like, if you can spike the like, that'd be super awesome. And I've got to try and turn. I need to buy batteries for this bastard. Did the Waverley run aground? I've never been on the Waverley, but I did hear a bit where my pals went on one of the booze cruise things, and they got to just before they got to Erskine on the Waverley, and it was like, everyone come inside just now, and they went coming inside, and like, oh look, there's kids on the beach waving, and then started getting all these dunks, and it was basically they were throwing bricks at the Waverley, so that's why everyone had to go down when they were going past this bit before they got to Erskine. Right, I've seen the Waverley a few times. I've jumped the wake of the Waverley at least half a dozen times. So occasionally I used to go to Inverary, and then one time when I bought my wee brother a Sea Rider, an Avon Sea Rider boat, the Yamaha 15 on it, and we launched it at the research station on Millport. And basically we went out, it was like, oh look, a wake, and it was like fucking, we were jumping about 4 feet in the air. It was like a jump up, and it was like holding on to the petrol tank and the side of the boat, back down again. Yeah, amazing. Boats and the Waverley, fucking rocking. Oh, catch you all later. Mwah.